here to stop all the ghosts from coming through, and he's here to fight for me and you. He's gotta catch 'em all, cause he's Danny Phantom. Gotta catch 'em all, he's Danny Phantom. Yeah, Danny Phantom. What do you mean, boo? I did a good job. I hit it here. I nailed it. I nailed it. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. But now, chat, we can go ahead and do some Patreon questions, chat. This is Class in the Glass, cast for your ass, a little bit of sass, where I answer my very generous patrons' Patreon questions, chat. I provide them with thick, girthy, well-endowed, robust answers. And we are going to start in the order at which I have received these questions, chat. It's typically what I do, okay? And we're going to start, got a lot of questions tonight. And then after that, we're going to be playing some of that Jackbox Party Pack, chat, playing that Jerp Jerp. And then we'll be doing that Day of the Dead. We'll be doing that Day of the Dead watch party. Or George Romero's original Day of the Dead, which should be fun. But, yeah, we're going to start with Vanisphere's questions, chat. Good old Vanny. He was in L.A., chat. He attended the live show. Imagine that he's currently hanging out with them at this moment, chat, because I think they're having, like, a get-together, day after the event. And then I guess they're flying back tomorrow. I guess that's what's happening. Yeah, I guess they're flying back tomorrow. Shit, geez, early in the morning then, chat. And I imagine Corey will be doing the Sunday service. Now, I don't know if Martin will be there, but I know if we are doing it, I will definitely be there tomorrow, chat. So that should be fun. But we're going to go ahead and start with Vanny's first question. A great tragedy has befallen the gaming world as a critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV's upcoming expansion, Endwalker, has been delayed by 2 whole weeks. While there are some folks that are naturally pissy because it's the internet. Oh, as we all know, chat. It hurts you. I've been hurt recently. The majority of players have been very understanding. That's good. So I'll cope the only way I know how by theming this week's questions again around Final Fantasy XIV. Fair enough. Christopher Throbbing, good to see you. Well, Class and Glass cast all up in my ass, right deep in that hole, my friend. And we have a movie question. We got a lot of themed questions from Van. You hurt us, Christopher. What'd I do? I didn't do nothing. I've been hurt. We hurt each other. We're just not right for each other, chat. We're just not right for each other. But we got a movie question right here. One of the story arcs in Endwalker will focus on the relationship between the twins Alphanod, pronounced Alphanod, and Al-Ass, pronounced Al-Ass. And their very strict father. Teen dramas have used the "my parents don't understand me" trope since the days of Rebel Without a Cause. What film do you think has the best use of the uptight parents versus the free-thinking kids trope? I mean, John Hughes' entire filmography, I would say. But you know, I mean, it's a little dated at this point because of the references and the clothes and stuff like that. But, like, The Breakfast Club, I think, is perfect, where you have all these kids who are all in their separate little cliques at high school, chat. There is that hierarchy, that caste system. You have the you know, the nerd, you have the jock, you got the bad boy, you got the prom queen, you got the weird girl, and they're all put into this isolated environment where they got to work together, chat, and they learn more about each other, and they realize they have a lot more in common than they do, than they don't. And it's a great movie. I mean, a lot of John Hughes' films, I think, deal with that in teenagers very well. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, that's about teen rebellion. It's like, hey, let's try to have some fun as kids before, you know, we all fucking get homogenized with the rest of society and have to, get a goddamn job and pay taxes, and part of you dies. It's like, let's live a little bit. But also you grow up at the same time. You take on responsibility. You grow as a person. Maybe it takes like a little adventure to do so. We see that with Ferris Bueller's friend Cameron, chat, who was one of the best arcs in the movie. He was a very kind of sad, beaten down character. And he's not a phase, Dad. He's not a phase. And he grows. But most recently, I would say the movie The Mitchells versus the Machines, I think, is really good. Where you have it's a classic American dysfunctional family where you have the dad. He's into one thing. In this case, you have the Danny McBride character, the dad, who is he's all about wilderness and survival. stuff and hunting and things. Where the daughter is a film geek, is a nerd, and they have nothing in common. But even the dad, he tries, but he inevitably fails a number of times. But then he sees that, oh my God, my daughter and I are so separate from each other now, and he wants to have that like last moment with her because he loves her so much. And he decides to do this road trip. It's maybe not what she wants. And then they fight robots, which is fantastic. But as you guys know, Mitchell's vs. the Machines is one of my favorite movies. It is my favorite movie so far this year. It's a beautiful film. I've seen it like 3 times now. Gorgeous animation, terrific voice acting, great writing. But I really love the dynamic between those two characters, of the dad and the daughter. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's great. Yeah, no, How to Train Your Dragon is another good one. I like it because he made Chris cry. It did make me cry. That was the one movie I've cried so far this year. You've seen me cry. And I was like, oh, my God. It was the movie that made me laugh, and it made me cry. And it was adorable. So, I mean, yeah, there's a ton of films. But, yeah, most recently, Mitchell's vs. the Machines. But, yeah, you can't do wrong with a number of John Hughes movies. Especially those teen-centric films like The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think he really understood that 80s teenager outlook. And a lot of that same stuff still holds true today. Just the settings have changed. The dialogue has changed. The culture has changed. But it's still, the basic elements of that are the same, which I think is really cool. That is aged well. I mean, not so much the fashion or the lingo that they use. Eat my shorts. Oh, Lord. I want to see Juicy Joe too. You can. He watched the Mitchell vs. the Machines stream, which I don't know if that's up there. Oh, he knew how 80s teens were. He nailed it. Cry Wilderness is a perfect example because the kid's dad and teacher just can't understand that he wants to marry Bigfoot. Paul, your dad is in danger, Paul. What? At least that's what I think he wanted to do. I imagine so. That sounds about right. Muchway 13. Oh, Mud is fantastic. Came 89. Great pick. Mud, yeah, with Matthew McConaughey. Totally. Where these small children, befriend a hobo Matthew McConaughey chat who is living out in the fucking bayou. It's like, what if your best friend was Bayou Chris and all he did was eat beans and talk about gators, chat? That's what that movie's about. That's a good one. Growing up does stuff. Growing up is fucking hard. It's really hard. Yes, there's a lot of fun things about growing up and childhood, but a lot of it's just like, oh, dreams being crushed and shit. It wears on you. It can grind you down. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, Mud's an excellent pick, King 89. Very good. Oh, Lord. But those are the ones that I would say. Mitchell's vs. Machines most recently, and, a lot of John Hughes' filmography. You can't do wrong by chat, in my opinion. But now we'll move on to Vanny's TV question. And Walker will introduce a new job class called Reaper, which allows the player to summon a wraith to assist them in combat. In shows, we've had ghosts that were friendly like Casper, silly like Slimer and Real Ghostbusters, and absolutely terrifying like an American Horror Story. Is that the one that was in the leather suit? Was that the leather daddy ghost, I assume? What is your favorite TV show ghost, chat? It's fucking Danny Phantom, guys. Danny Fenton, who became Danny Phantom, chat, okay? He was 16. He went inside of his parents' machine. It was all going crazy, and all of his molecules got rearranged. And he came out. It's a gimp suit, fair enough. And he got ghost powers, chat. He got ghost superpowers. He had to fight, ghost supervillains. I mean, he had to fight his dad's longtime frenemy rival, who was lusting after his mom the entire series. There's some good shit in there. You got Amber the Ghost. Very sad. Remember that Amber song, chat? Oh, God, you remember that Amber song. I don't know if I can play the fucking lyrics, chat. He was just 14. I know that. I'm going to type in the Danny Phantom. I'm going to sing you Ember, Ember, Amber, Ember. That's it, Ember. Holy shit. Some good, you will remember her name. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me get the Danny Phantom. Oh, Lord. Danny Phantom lyrics. Here we go. Rap the theme song. He's a phantom. Danny Phantom. Yo, Danny Phantom. He was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. He was designed to view a world unseen. He's gonna catch them all because he's Danny Phantom. When it didn't quite work as supposed, they just quit. And Danny took a look inside of it. There was a great big flash. Everything just changed. His molecules got all rearranged. Phantom. When he woke up, he realized he had snow white hair and glowing green eyes. He could walk through walls, disappear and fly. He was much more unique than the other guys. It was then that Daddy knew what he had to do. He had to stop grapple the ghost from coming through, and he's here to fight for me and you. He's gotta catch 'em all, cause he's Danny Phantom. Gotta catch 'em all, he's Danny Phantom. Yeah, Danny Phantom. What do you mean, boo? I did a good job. I hit it here. I nailed it. Oh my God, no, Danny Phantom Chat, which I think only got like, what, 3 or 4? It needed more seasons. I know that they want to do more seasons, but they had to end it early. But what a great Nicktoon, Chad. It was kind of, I think it was by Butch Hartman, who had seen success with Fairly Odd Parents and stuff. And I like Danny Phantom even more. I like the serious, kind of got a little more serious, but still, very goofy and things. I like the characters and relationships. I like the villains. I like just like a ghost theme hero. I thought was really, really cool. And so I always like Danny Phantom a lot. So that's definitely like TV goes. That's like 3 seasons. I think they wanted like to do a 4th season. That would have been so good. So good. I think you stuck the landing on the Hassan. Thank you, Observer. Thank you. Yes, I did it well. I went almost 10 years before hearing those damn lyrics again. Oh no, you don't like them? And there's the Amber song, or Ember, you will remember my name. I don't know if I can even. I doubt I could play it on my on stream. I feel like Nickelodeon would come after me, chat. Yeah. Oh. It was September. Winds blow, the dead leaves fall. To you I did surrender. 2 weeks you didn't call. Your life goes on with... I can't remember. I forgot it! I forgot it, chat. See, I like Doodle Ball. Your nine will yow me. My nine was losing game. But you should not doubt me. You will remember my name. Oh, Amber, you will remember. Amber, one thing that remains. Oh, Amber, so warm and tender. You will remember my name. Remember that one? Yeah, Chad Ember. She was like my that was like one of my favorite villains in the show. She had a really fucking dark past because Butch Hartman, he went into like details because all these fucking characters are dead. Fart. No, and where apparently she was like a girl living in the 70s because she talks like with the like 70s lingo. And apparently, he went into like her history, and they wanted to expand upon in later seasons, but never had the opportunity because it was canceled. But her whole thing was that she was kind of like, 70s nerdy girl who like loved this kind of like 70s rock and roll. And there was this one time she was supposed to go on a date with someone, and they stood her up, and she went back home, and she was like really sad about it. And there was a fire in her house, and she fucking burned alive. She burned alive. And that's why they constantly reference like Ember and shit like that, because she was an Ember. And it's like, holy hell. And it's like, your heart has rendered. Your walls now bear the shame. Like dead trees in cold December. Nothing but ashes remain. It's like, holy shit. She died. It's like really fucking dark, origins for some of these ghosts and stuff. And I remember that news, Chris, my name is not Amber. I'm sorry. So I always like that. I like that. It's like, wow, this kind of kid show has some dark history. But of course, they didn't say that, but Hartman says, but that's what it was. I thought that was pretty neat. Her name is Ember, and she burns to a crisp. Yes. Well, she died. She that's how she became a ghost. And so she, as a human in the 70s, she burned alive. She died. And then she came back as a ghost, and she tries to take over the world with rock and roll, chat, which has occasionally happened in the world, as we all know. So that one's a big one for me. Ichigo, my favorite TV ghost, Ichigo in Bleach. I never watched Bleach, so I just don't know. A little dark there, chat. Remember that song sounding better? Yes, I'm not very good at singing it, chat. I know. I'm aware. I think I didn't do that bad. No. Oh, Amber, you will remember. Amber, one thing that remains. Whatever. I got that one. So Danny Phantom to me, Chad, that is top tier TV ghost material, Chad. That's material right there. Oh my Lord, now I'm running farts. Oh man. Video game question from Vanny Chat. I tried. I did a better job of the Danny Phantom theme. Did much better with the opening thing. Video game question. I can't hit them high notes like Ember Chap. Video game question. Endwalker is also going to introduce a new healing class called Sage. The trick with Sages is that they'll focus on creating barriers around other players rather than direct healing. And also have some really cool combat mechanics that can enhance those barriers. While I personally am not a big fan of healing classes since that is a lot of pressure to ensure your entire party doesn't die, I do have to admit that this sounds pretty great. Plus, their weapons look like it came from Gundam. Of all the RPGs you've played through, who is your all-time favorite healer and why? I think this is a popular answer, but one person at the top of my head immediately comes to mind is Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. That one is really, really big, of course. She's not great in combat, but as a healer, oh shit, Aerith, yeah, she will save your team in a hot minute, Chad. She does a great job with keeping all you guys healthy and alive and resuscitating you. So Aerith is definitely high on the list of some of the best and well known like RPG-esque healers. There's other ones which I think of and they're more personal to me. Win from Dragon Age Origins, chat, who is this a white mage healer class where she's this older woman, kind of got like a Helen Mirren vibe going to her, chat, and you recruit her. It's the reason why she wants to join you on your quest to destroy the Darkspawn, chat, these evil, a dragon-esque zombie monster who controls a bunch of orcs and goblins and shit, and she joins you because it's like, well, I'm gonna die in a year, so I gotta do something with my time, and because I think she's infected with some mumbo jumbo magic stuff, and you're like, cool. And so she was always the main healer in my party, chat. She did a really good job in that regard. I'm trying to think what else. Rosa. Oh yeah, Rosa. Yeah, Rosa from Final Fantasy 4. That's a good one. Yeah, Shindershu. I should have picked Rosa. Definitely, yeah, Rosa from Final Fantasy 4. Vanilla from Final Fantasy. What was that? Oh shit. What is that? 13? I don't like to remember. I don't like to think about 13. Down like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I figured like how people would say Donda from Kingdom Hearts. But those are the ones that come to my mind immediately. I actually, it's funny, when I was playing Star Wars The Old Republic way back then, the MMO, when it came out like in 2010, 2011, maybe it was 2011, I did two character classes. I did an Imperial Agent, which is really cool, Sith Imperial Agent. I forgot, like, it was more like a DPS build, but when I did my Smuggler build, who I named Saffron, chat, after Christina Hendricks' character from Firefly, she was a healer class, and I did some raids, if you will, chat. I did some dungeons, and I actually like the healing a lot, because I always feel like I'm gonna get slaughtered, but I like just being able to heal all my people. That was pretty cool, and just had my little method and my formula down, so I didn't mind it so much. I imagine, yeah, if you're a healer, the healer is like the most important person when you go into these fucking raids, these dungeons, chat, because, you're gonna be swarmed by enemies, some really difficult things. You all gotta work in unison. Witness me, Vanny Spheres. I'm answering your questions right now, talking about healers. I said Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. I said Win from Dragon Age. But also talking about my own experience being a healer in an MMO, and I was a smuggler healer class in the Old Republic, and how I really liked that. That was really, really fun. So that was big. Yeah. So, that was, yeah, I thought that was cool. Her name was Saffron, and she had a big old booty, which is really nice. Friends, thank you, No Name, over the 10 biddies. Good to see you, No Name Woman. The 10 Doge biddies. Cassidy Rose Firefrost. Give Cookie Soul, thank you for all the cookies. Oh, my Lord, look at all the kindness and support. Vanny, did you have fun at the DT live show? I hope that went well. Good to have you. The Red Mages chat. Please do check out Vanna's Spheres, Vanny. Give them answer support. Follow him, subscribe to him, donate to him. I would appreciate it, chat. Because 13 gets a lot of hate. Maybe because it was so linear. Yes. It was basically practically a rail shooter disguised as an RPG, which I just didn't like that. It was a hallway. It was a hallway. It was missing a certain Mr. Evans said, but overall it was fun. I'm glad to hear that, man. No, I'm glad you had a good time. Nice. Very, very nice. The venue was good, too. Hi, Raider friends. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing very well. I'd ask if you could refresh, because sadly, raid viewership does not count towards average viewership. So you could refresh your browsers. That'd be really, really cool. Just going over questions right now. Actually answering Vanny's questions. Talking about healers. Man, so we think I get this up to Cassidy Rose. Firefrost, Cassidy, welcome to the Rev Knights, the Juicy Gangstas. I hope you're doing very well today. Pleasure to have you here. Dad Chicken Wing, Stefan. There's got some people here, chap. Some are Isaac, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other person. I'm thinking of Stefan. Dad Chicken Wing, Isaac, I'm going to be answering your questions too as well, good sir. Yes, indeed. We're going to go ahead and move on to Vanny's next questions, chat. Content creator questions, a thick, girthy one, chat. Delays in games are normal at times. Understandable part of the creative process. Sometimes games just need more time to work out the kinks, or the expectations are so high that the dev team doesn't want to disappoint their fans. When it was announced that Endwalker was going to be delayed, the director gave a heartfelt apology and even shed a tear because he knew fans would be upset. As a creator, you've experienced some technical issues in the past, that caused content to come out later than intended, which can be understandably frustrating for you. How do you personally handle the stress when things outside your control cause delays in the content you provide us? As a follow-up question, how do you avoid feeling overwhelmed when things like water leaks, slashed tires, power outages cause several-day delays? No, wait, thank you for coming to the 5 biddies. Just finished Final Fantasy 9. What? It is your turn to play. So I got to play it. Yes, I love Final Fantasy 9. Goddamn classic game. It's probably my, I'd say it's like my second favorite Final Fantasy game. So goddamn good. Nice. Very, very nice, chat. I cried. You stream, you cried, man. It's an emotional goddamn ending. You know what I'm talking about. It's good. It's good. My favorite is still 6, but 9 is second for me. So many tears. Excellent. Good. I mean, when it comes to, like, if I'm unable to do something because of a situation, like, you know, something that's out of my control, like power outage or internet outage or something else that's going on in my life, such as a busted pipe or slashed tires. I mean, I'll work on what I can in the meantime. I could always prep something else. Like most recently, that's what I did this past Wednesday. I was prepping some other material. And things I'm thinking in the future, like what my reviews could possibly be down the line for Twitch, other content, Patreon content, that kind of thing. At least I have an idea of what I want to do, I need to do, and I can, you know, move ahead like weeks, months, and go like, okay, this is all the things, hit it here, do this on this day, you know, if the circumstances will work out. So there is that. I also might move on to something else that is like a different creative outlet for myself. So recently, you know, I took, as I said in the beginning of the stream, I had a personal thing that happened in my life, chat, made me very sad. And I've been doing a little creative writing to take my mind off of it. And I was working recently on my Alien 3 script. If I wrote Alien 3, this is what I would do, Chad. I've been working on that. I kind of got like I have an outline done for the most part. I want to fill the outline in with a little bit more detail and material so far, but I kind of like have a really good structure. I've been writing dialogue for certain scenes that I'm just picturing in my mind, and I want to share that with you guys later on. Actually, an alien-themed question, I believe, from Isaac from Dat Chicken Wing. So I'll be reading that from him in a bit, and I figured that'd be when I can bring that in. But there's something like that. And maybe that's just because sometimes you got to take some time from your one thing you're working on because you might get a little burned out, or you might get tired, or might not just be in the right mindset for it at that time, and you want to produce the best quality product for your audience. And so you don't want to half-ass it, or you don't want to do something that you feel not motivated to do it. So work on something else in the meantime, or maybe just take them over for yourself, just relax, take a nap. I mean, there's all other things, but for me, it was just doing a little bit of the creative writing, which was really fun. And, you know, who knows? I mean, will it lead to anything someday? Who knows? But I like doing it. And I want to share it with you guys. I want to see what you guys kind of think of it. Cassie, glad to hear you writing more. Thank you, Cassie. Yeah, I'm actually really digging it. Well, I've been talking about all these ideas recently, like for Nightmare, what I would do for a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise or Alien. It's like, man, I'm gonna write some of this down. Maybe nothing will come of it someday, but maybe something will. I don't know. It was cool. I guess you were doing your own stuff, man. Well, that too, Chris. I have to do that. I look about the activities. So, Chris, I went to go look up that Ember saw on YouTube to refresh my memory, and it was fine. Went to the comment section. Jesus Christ, it got dark. I told you. I want to explain because it got just bad vibes, but Jesus, I didn't want to know what I know. I told you it's fucking dark, man. I told you. Yep. The support class is the hardest working folks. Oh, definitely. Oh, the healers and shit? No doubt about that, Devin. Yes, agreed. Have you ever watched the Day of the Dead show? No, I've seen trailers. That's new, right? Didn't that come out in like October? It's like a sci-fi show, right? I guess that's the television's adaptation of George Romero's Day of the Dead, I suppose. I've not seen episodes. I've only seen teasers. It looks fun. It looks kind of cool. Final Fantasy X was also very linear, but I like it more. I do agree, though. Titus was a very boring man. Oh, I hate fucking ha 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 ha. I don't like Titus. Main character should have been Orin's story. He had the best arc in the game. New edition, Chris. Do you listen to Coldplay? No. We have so many sequel ideas. I'm surprised it hasn't been written yet. I know. It's some of the stuff I'm sure. Like I'm taking inspiration from some people. Like definitely from Neil Blomkamp's idea, where it's an older Ripley and an older Hicks and Newt and it's decades later after the events of the original Aliens. So I'm definitely capitalizing off a person's idea, but I'm filling it with my own details as well. I'll talk about it tonight with you guys. Some of you already know kind of like the general structure of it, but I've kind of worked out the first act. I worked out what my first act would be, kind of the setup and stuff, and then the act 2, when we get into the scary shit, we get into the meat of the story, and then the third act, how I know how it ends. I know how I would end Alien 3. And it will be a fucking tearjerker, Chad. I'll tell you what, because that's been my biggest criticism of these recent alien movies. A lot of horror films in general is that you don't give a shit about a lot of these characters. Like, you just want them to die. You want them to die in the new Alien movies. And I know exactly how I would end it. I know. I wrote out. I was thinking about it, and I wrote out this entire this certain character, Chad. You know who it is. This certain character says this last thing before signing off. And I thought, I nailed it. And I thought I fucking nailed it. I thought I did a really good job. No, I don't like Final Fantasy 15. No, I'm not a fan. I like the combat in it, but I don't like the characters or the story. I like the guy that says, that's a nice recipe. I like the recipe guy. But outside of that, I just was not a fan. Was not a fan. But no, I'm not talking about the show at all. I wish I was. It was tied to a real life event about a guy who actually ran the YouTube channel. It was on because, sit with that character. Oh, God. Except that character just got dark. So, oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Some people that need some help, obviously. Whew, Lord. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, but no, that's what I did. I mean, if you're not able to do certain things, well, you should take some time for yourself. Like, I learned that recently, like this past, Friday. I was like, I need a moment for myself. And I was also creative, and I was working on some other things, but you need to do that, chat. And there's always other things you can do in the meantime if you're not able to work on, like, the main meat of your content. You can prep for it ahead of time. Like, okay, well, once I do this, I can do this, and then this, and this, and this, et cetera, et cetera. So there is that. There's always something that you can do, chat, but make sure you're in the right headspace for it. Because if you're not, then it won't be of the best quality, and you won't feel good about it either, which will also make you, it will exacerbate how you feel. So there's that. So you need to take time for yourself, and recently I did that. Music question, chat. One of the coolest things about Final Fantasy XIV's theme songs is that the lyrics give hints about the upcoming story. This level of detail is something I've never seen before in our games, but some have come close. For example, in Devil May Cry 5, as your combos get larger and larger, the character's theme music gets louder and more bombastic, which gives the fight a greater sense of energy. In Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, after Sean Connery uses seagulls, resting at a nearby beach to take down Nachi's plane, Indy looks at his dad with a sense of wonder and affection, while a softer version of Indy's theme plays in the background. This softer version works to tell the audience that Indy can still be surprised by his dad, and that the relationship got a little stronger. What is your favorite musical? With all that, what is your favorite use of a theme song outside of it just being a great song? Did it give hints to the story like Final Fantasy? Did its use correlate with the action, intensifying like DMC? Or was it used in a clever way to show character growth like in Indy? A couple of things. One, I grew up with the Disney Renaissance era movies, and as you guys know, I just love those songs, and how you'll have a song initially, play in the beginning of the movie. Whether it be the saga of life, I don't speak the language, but then they'll play that later on in the movie, but it's like it's at a different tempo. It's soft or something like that. Maybe it grows and it builds and shit like that. Always really appeals to me. I love that. They'll do like a darker, eviler version of that song, and I've always loved that shit growing up. I think that's why I just kind of like Broadway in general. Like, my music tastes are very odd. They're very particular. Like, I know I'm ignorant when it comes to music, but that kind really appeals to me. And I also like scores and film scores and more. Turning back the clock about 5 or 6 years ago, chat, when The Force Awakens was coming out. Before, I didn't want to get into a Star Wars conversation, but when that was coming out and they had that first fucking trailer, chat, and they had it where it was the theme song, it was Luke's Force theme, but it was slowed down, and it was a cover version, and there was a lot of piano. It was softer and it was slower, and like that was like, oh, it was so good, chat. Like, it was the epic Force theme, like that you know what I'm talking about. That trailer, The Force Awakens. I'm not even talking about the movie itself. I'm not even talking about the the characters or the story, but the structure of that trailer, how they used that theme music, how they did cover versions of that theme, it really, really appealed to me. It made me emotional. Why? It made me emotional, chap. It really appealed to me. And kind of to show you what I'm talking about. I'll showcase that for you. I have another part as well, another answer. But this fucking trailer, shit. This fucking trailer right here. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, shit. So goddamn good. Oh. And they slow it down here again. So that's the kind of like how they use old nostalgic music and do cover versions of it. Either they slow it down or they fucking make it epic. They get that orchestra, all that. Yes, cry was please me, Rob Nibnibs. Hey, back in 2015, when this trailer was released, I was like, I can't believe it. Even the first one they did was the teaser trailer, where you got Harrison Ford, Chewie, we're home. You rub your nips? Of course I did. Oh, the areolas. Phantom Menace had a great trailer too, but this one I thought this was even better. It was just using that music and seeing Han again and all these things and that original Han and Leia's theme. I was like, oh god, seeing Luke of R2D2. I'm just saying before we even knew what would eventually happen, I was like, fuck, this is so cool. It blew my nerdy little mind everywhere, chat. Everywhere. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So how they use that music. How they got in my lizard brain and just took control of it, chat. Oh, it was awesome. Recently, though, it's funny because we were actually talking about this today on Discord Discourse chat. And Casfe, Osnick, Emily, Chris Ayers, and I, we were all doing a discussion on Helluva Boss, and to a smaller degree, Has Been Hotel. Mentioning Has Been Hotel, but mostly focusing on the series Helluva Boss, which, in case you don't know, chat, it's created by this, I forgot what's her name, but I know that her YouTube channel is Vivzy Pop, and she's an independent animator and creator. She does have like a deal with A24 for one of her shows. And it's about like this society and this group of characters that live in hell, the 9 rings of hell. And it's about this organization called IMP, Improvised Murder Professionals. And they're like about these imps that basically have this startup business where they're assassins. And a lot of it, and there's like a bunch of different characters. Famously, one of the voice actors is Richard Horvitz, who voices Zim from Invader Zim and Billy from Billy and Mandy, and a whole bunch of other shit that he's done for over 25, 30 years at this point, I want to say. But it's a really good show, and a lot of it is heavily inspired by Broadway and that Renaissance era of Disney. And they have all these beautiful fucking songs. Vivian Madrano, thank you, Cassie, thank you, Madrano. And how like they'll within these songs they'll talk about anything from their relationships, the failures of the relationships, the love of that they have for like their daughter or something, or mocking someone's affection towards their wife, or and how we're all about lust down here. Like I don't show that on Twitch? Could I show? Hell, I don't even know if I can. I don't know if I can show that on Twitch. I don't want to get DMCA'd. I would love to show you like a little bit of the song to kind of show you what I'm talking about. But it's Joey the Jedi. Good to see you. I am going to Chicago. Yes, I'm going to Chicago. But I'm afraid that if I'll get DMCA'd to hell by it. But if you guys have not checked out Helluva Boss or Has Been Hotel, man, I highly recommend you do so. It is a fantastic series. Maybe I could show you like a little bit. You can play. I'll play a clip. I'll play like a little clip. Okay. I'll play a little clip here, chat. I'll play like maybe 20 seconds. Most recent. I'll show you the most recent episode, or at least a clip from the most recent episode, at least part of a song. Let me get this all set up for you guys. Million Moxie or grid. That is couples goals, chat. Yes, they're assassins. Yes, they're demon imps. But my God, do they fucking love each other? You feel that? Oh, you feel it, chat. You feel it so hard. All right. It's so good. So there you go, chat. There you go. That's what I was. So yes, that's what I was watching Yesterday, I had on repeat while being sad and drinking whiskey and writing Alien 3. That's what I was doing yesterday. Oh, no, ads!
Because sometimes the best
God
medicine
damn it, hold on.
isn't medicine at all.
I gotta pause it. Who's talking? Yeah, I seriously, if you guys have not watched Hell of a Boss, I am going to go ahead and direct you to the YouTube channel right now. That's the least I can do. As I showed a piece of that right now. This is free advertising for Vivzy Pop. Hell of a Boss. Let me direct you. I'll provide you with the link, chat. They got 8 episodes up right now, along with a pilot. So let me go ahead and shoot you. They also have Has Been Hotel, which I also recommend checking out, too. Boom. There's the link, chat. Chris going to check off. No! I mean, not yet. Other people have been, though. There's a shit ton of Rule 34 illustration with these characters, chat. And they actually make fun of that in the episodes. They get very meta. There's this character named Luna, who is a werewolf, or a hellhound. But she's basically a werewolf. And, you know, she's kind of like a goth girl, werewolf girl. And there's a literal joke where they all look at the camera. It's like, we know that the kind of freaks that lust after you. They all look at the audience. It's really good. Chris, here's the tip. He says, someone who spent their child being obsessed with dinosaurs and watching the first 3 episodes on loop. The music of the trailer started at 146 had me crying like a bitch. What is this one? What's this? Oh, Jurassic World. Oh, Jurassic World. Oh, yeah. Of course, the Jurassic World theme. No doubt about that. Yeah. It's that piano, man. It's that piano. That's right. Oh, they did it. They opened the park again. It's working. That was incredible. 146. Oh, is that when they do it?
What kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That piano.
Evacuate the island.
Sure.
She's a highly intelligent animal. She will kill anything that moves.
Oh, God.
So you got that and stuff. Yeah, no. Again, when they slow that shit down, they pull at your heartstrings, Jeff. But yes, please do check out Hell of a Boss. It's the least I can do. Can't wait to see what A24. I'm very interested because that's kind of been on a weird delay recently. That was supposed to I thought that was supposed to happen first, but it never did. So I wonder if after they finish Hell of the Boss, then they're going to concentrate on Has Been Hotel. But it's super good. There's a musical number. There's at least one musical number per episode, chat, and they're all great. They all do different genres of music and things. But there's a lot of Broadway. A lot of Broadway. I mean, they're literally in the previous episode. They basically do Phantom of the Opera, which is so goddamn good. Wait, is the new Jurassic? No. That was just a trailer for the the movie, the Jurassic World movie that came out a number of years ago. That one. Just listening to the theme. Just kind of, again, it's that. Let's slow down the theme with putting some piano in there, too. Pretty much it. Who was voiced by the same VA as Cassie Cage. Oh, is that her? Well, she does a great job. She does a really good job. Nice, chat. Nice. 69 viewers. Hot. I love it. But we'll continue on, chat, to finish up Vanny's questions. He did a bonus question. Chat did a bonus question. If you have the time, did you know that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial? It includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 6, with no restrictions on playtime. Did you, Revan? Did you? I did not. Listen, I wish I had time to play an MMO, but I mean, there are so many games. Like I told you, chat. There's so many games that have already come out that I need to play. I need to play Metroid Dread. I need to play Far Cry 6. I need to play Deathloop, and I got to get on Guardians of the Galaxy, chat. So there's so many now that I need to just stream at this moment, and there's more coming. I want to play Battlefield 2042. That's looking really cool. I imagine there's another big release on the horizon right after that. So much to do, so little time. Sadly, that is the case. And, like after I finish Dead Space 2, I got to figure out, we got to do It Takes Two, Van. We got to do It Takes Two as well, which I said we got to do someday. So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But, MMO, sadly. I mean, if I ever did play an MMO, probably I would do, like, the Old Republic if it's still around by this point, because who even knows? I mean, that MMO's going to be over 10 years old now. So, I don't know. Yeah, now you know, mofo. Now I know, mofo. It's true. Oh, but now, Chad, we can move on. Thank you, Vanny, for being a Juicy Gangster subscriber. Thank you for your generosity and for your patience, good sir. I do appreciate you. Thank you for these questions, some good questions. I was able to expose people to hell of a boss today because of you. It was very kind of you. For the times we live in where there's too much entertainment. There's going to be things where you're like, I'm not going to be able to watch this movie or this TV series, and maybe someday, but it won't be for years. You know, it's nuts. Nuts. Byron says it is no plan to stop the Republican. Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, maybe I'll jump back into that someday. If I had to do one MMO, that'd probably be that one. Because I like that. That's so much. It's so focused on story. So this is from Thunder Leech at Thunder Lee Graves. Thank you so much for being a subscriber to my Patreon. Thank you. So this moment of typing this out, I just woke up from a nap. So here's 5 random questions that are being made on the spot. Much love and have fun. What was one game before you became a streamer that made you so mad that you deleted it right after? Alpha Protocol for me. So Obsidian Entertainment, they are definitely a beloved developer, but I feel like they've made a number of kind of shitty games before that a lot of people give them cover for. And they made a spy RPG. It's like, hey, what if we made a James Bond game where you're not James Bond, but it's like within that world? And you get to do all the spy shenanigans, whether it be, you know, going on secret missions, going to, you know, around the world, you know, killing people, assassinating people, subterfuge, sabotage, wooing all the hot ladies and guys, and it's like, that sounds cool. But what if we made it like, what if we made the gameplay like really shitty, and it was filled with a fuck ton of bugs, and it has like really bad dialogue? And that's what Alpha Protocol was. A huge disappointment for me, chat. I was so excited with that game. It's like, wow, what a piece of shit. It was an attempt. I mean, I guess it was an attempt, but it was so bad. And I feel like the reason why the game did not get as ridiculed was because it was Obsidian that made it. I was like, man, they deserved all that. That game is bad. I think it's an awful, awful game. And various people are like, whatever. It's like, no. I mean, if BioWare made that game, people would be up their ass about it. Or any other developer. And Obsidian gets away with a lot of shit. It was the same thing with, I mean, not really their fault, so I can't blame them too much. But, you know, like when they did KOTOR 2, the Sith Lords. But, which again, LucasArts is on their ass to get that out within a year. And so there was just shit missing from the game. The like storylines just ended. It was like, okay, what happened there? But Alpha Protocol was one I was like, what the fuck? I got so mad. That was one of the games I actually took back. I bought it, and I think it was a GameStop years ago. And I said, I want my money back. This thing is awful. This thing is fucking awful. And they did. They gave me a store credit, but I still was like, wow. Emily, your husband, like Alpha. I was not a fan. That was a game that made me really mad. So it came out later that they were rushed. There was at least 60% was removed to meet the deadline. That's right. That's right. So Alpha Protocol for me, definitely. What about you? Is there like a game when you were like, fuck this? You were so, it bothered you after, maybe it was like a few hours, you're like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. For me, Alpha Protocol comes to mind immediately. It's still fresh, chat. Nearly, a decade later. I've usually never done that where I take the goddamn game back. It's like, this game was just really bad. Shrek the Third, the game. Well, at least you should have known, man. It was Shrek the Third, the game. It was based on one of the weakest, probably the weakest entry in the Shrek franchise. The writing was on the wall. But fair enough. Elder Scrolls Oblivion was that game. Really, you know, I've heard that got better. I know a person that really loves that game. Elder Scrolls. Mine was The Order. Oh, 1888. Was it 1888? Was it 88? Yeah, but I digitally bought it. I finished it, but it was, yeah. Oh, God. Good pick, Sarah. Good pick. Kingdom Hearts. I got through a couple hours where I said, fuck it. Did someone say Shrek and summon me? You have layer Shrek juice. Yes. They were not a fan. Shrek Thunderly was not a fan of Shrek the Third, the game. Yes, I was too young, though. The game was, it's only 2 hours long. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you're a young kid. That makes sense. Now, fair enough. I'm thinking what Shrek was. I was like 15 when that movie came out. Sims 4. Good pick, C-Man. In my arrogant opinion, game was busted on release because they originally planned to make it like Sims Online and shipped without major base items, and I still play it. I still enjoy playing it, and I hate it to this day while enjoying it. That's funny. Silent Hill Homecoming. Oh, good point. Good pick, Edgy Berserker. That's a nice one. Halo 5. Yeah, that campaign was a duty. That was a duty campaign. Hope the new one's better. I see. I have a love-hate relationship. Fair enough. And that franchise is on hold right now. Sims and you're like SimCities. Isn't that like that's done? Didn't they close it? Didn't EA close that developer? And then go back to Sims 3. It's superior. Yeah. How could Home Alone 3 on the Game Boy Advance be bad? Atari ZT, the best game. Oh, of course, of course. I tried Oblivion for Dragon Age Origins. Oblivion, listen, I love Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Skyrim is great. I do not like Oblivion. Even at the time when I was like, I don't fucking like I mean, now it's aged horribly. But at the time, like, I don't like the way this game plays. I don't like the way it feels. It's ugly, obviously. You know, I mean, it's not like the engine that Bethesda Softworks uses is great by any stretch of the imagination. It's not. The games always look dated. But Skyrim, I remember just being, that was easier. That was just fun to play. Oblivion was a fucking chore. I really disliked it. And I liked Morrowind. I really liked Morrowind a lot. Yeah. They close out Sims City Skylines. Gotcha. Thank you. Newsy Ducky, thank you so much for subscribing. You can have some of my trivia prize. Oh, thank you, Newsy Ducky. No, you keep it. Did Corey send you the did he send you the money? Yeah. I have a question. For those of you who played in the trivia, has Corey sent you your winnings? I hope he has. I'm not in charge of that, but I want to know if you were indeed sent. Fucking nope. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm going to talk to him about that tomorrow. I owes you $40. You owes me $40 fucking dollars. I cheated. I didn't win anything but shame. You did cheat. I knew you cheated, Emily. Oh, my God. No, it's for my own bank. No, it's Ducky. No, it's fine. No, we're going to hang out. We're going to hang out in Chicago. We're going to get some drinks. We're going to get some food. It's going to be some good times. People did win a trade. Yeah, Vanny won. Newsy Ducky, lots of fun. She won too. I was guessing that Vanny didn't want to be that guy. I'll talk to him tomorrow about it. I figured he hasn't yet. I knew he hasn't. We'll have a conversation. Don't worry, you guys are going to get your money, or at least I'm going to ask about that. That's the least I could do, Check. I don't have any control over that. Oh, Lord. Lord, you did really well, Chris. Did you get every question right, or did you get one wrong? I think maybe you got every single one right. I think, yeah, that's the thing. You got every single one right. Dr. Strange, I knew. I was like, fuck. As soon as I knew it was going to be you, I was like, well, he's going to get all these right. God damn it, Chad. Chad goes, well, Kaz, you're going to be in Chicago. We're going to have so much fun, Kaz Fay. It's going to be great. We're all going to hang out and have drinks and eat food and have good conversations. I imagine we'll do something the next day as well. Hang out with people. Yeah, it'll be good, Chad. But yeah, to get back to the questions, Thunder Lee, Alpha Protocol, did not like it. Really disliked that. I was like, fuck this. I want my money back. What is the most iconic movie poster that first pops in your mind? Well, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of the movie posters, Chat, particularly from the 70s and 80s. If you see, actually, I hadn't posted on my my social media. I got to show you what my living room looks like. My living room, my kitchen, because I have a ton of really nice looking posters, Chat, in these black wooden frames of glass and everything. And they're gorgeous looking. And I have a number of my absolute favorites, Chat. So John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982 Thing, have that beautiful poster. Love the way that looks, Chat. So ominous, but so beautiful looking. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark, of course. Love that Raiders of the Lost Ark poster, Chat. Big Trouble in Little China is a great one. Alien, of course. Alien, I love its simplicity, Chat, where you have the alien, or at least an egg with the crack in it and the green goo coming down at Chat. That is so good to me. Blade Runner, I have that. I have that poster up there as well. Empire Strikes Back, the original Star Wars poster, the OG one, where you have Darth Vader's big fucking helmet in the background, the giant fleet of X-wings soaring up into the sky, sexy Luke Skywalker, sexy Mark Hamill, and super sexy thick thighs. Carrie Fisher. That is good. Scream's a good one. I actually have a Scream poster. It's an alternate version, which I think is really cool. I got to post. I'm gonna post those tomorrow for you guys to see what this. You can see what my stuff looks like. Halloween is a great poster. The original 1978 Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Jurassic Park, I love its simplicity, where you have like the logo for the theme park and right underneath 65 million years in the making. So some of that, like I like the ones where they have like a lot of detail to them, and sometimes the most simple ones are good too. And so I have a big collection of movie posters, Chat, that I have framed. The Thing, I love The Thing where he's coming out of the telepod. You got sexy Jeff Goldblum with his hand, but then you see he's got a weird, gross fly leg. So good. So good. I have an Aliens poster where it's like, this time it's war. And you have, fucking Sigourney Weaver with the goddamn, plasma rifle, pulse rifle with the flamethrower, and Newt hanging on to her chest as they're obviously looking at the alien queen. Some really, really good. E.T.'s a great one. E.T.'s a great one. And when I decided to post with the chicken egg, that chicken egg. That's right. Which that chicken egg was a part of the trailer, not the movie. Since the alien egg in the movie, looks very different than it does in the trailer. So, yeah, I got Back to the Future is a great one too. Really, really good one. That cornball, nice picks. Oh Lord. Buy me dinner and a drink first. So, and the chicken egg. That's what it is. Chicken egg is the poster. Yeah, that's it's not in the movie though. But yeah, I absolutely adore those posters, and I have them framed on my walls. There's a lost. I've talked about this before, chat. The poster is a lost art form in Hollywood because now they just do the shitty clip art shit. I talked about this. I talked about this like in a DT gameplay like a few weeks ago. We were talking about, I think it was the Spider-Man posters. And like comparing the Spider-Man Homecoming poster, which was so shitty looking. It was just a bunch of clip art of faces and stuff. And there's Iron Man or whatever. And then I showed you like this Mondo poster, which was a bunch of floating heads. And this Mondo poster, chat, who they do great shit. They're very much influenced by the posters of the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and the 80s. By the time we got to the fucking 90s, I mean, you had some outliers in the 90s. You had some good posters. But after that, after the late 90s onwards, fucking sucks. They suck. It's all clip art bullshit. I like the hand-drawn poster. I love that hand-drawn shit. And Mondo, they're keeping that alive. And they did a great one for Spider-Man Homecoming, which is beautiful. And I'll show you some examples. I'll show you some examples. So, I'll show you like Spider-Man Homecoming poster. Show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a visualization. Chat. Okay? There you go. Where's that goddamn poster? Where is it? Ah, shit. I'm trying to find it. Spider-Man Homecoming. Is this it? Oh, here it is. So you got that one. And let me get the Spider-Man Homecoming Mondo poster. Miss Bowties are cool. Alex, good to see you. Or Allie, excuse me. Allie, hope you're doing very well. It has been a hot minute. How are you feeling? How's everything been going on with you? I was just getting some stuff prepped. I want to show some people some cool posters talking about it. But Allie, how are you doing? Here we go, chat. Here we go. Whip. So now I want to show you what I'm talking about. Because some of you may not understand me. But now you will understand, chat. Now you will understand. So I'm going to show you I had surgery 2 days ago, and I'm in a lot of post-op pain. Otherwise, I'm okay, thanks. Movie in when on Twitch. I'm sorry. I'm glad you got the surgery. I'm glad that you're recovering. That's good, chat. Can we get some Mr. Evan Yates, Mr. Evan Hypes for Miss Bowties are cool for Allie right now? Would really appreciate that. We're talking about, I was asked about some of my favorite movie posters in general, and I named a bunch of them, but I'm talking about how the movie posters are a lost art form because now they're just done really lazily and they look like shit, and it bothers me immensely. And so I want to make a comparison, and so one of the comparisons I'm going to make is to Spider-Man Homecoming, its posters. They put out this really bland poster, which I don't really particularly like all that much. It's all a bunch of clip art. It's like it's not drawn or anything, but you got this one right here. It's a bunch of fucking floating heads. Like, that's what that one is. Bunch of floating heads. I don't like it. You're too busy, too much going on. It's like, we got to put all the characters that are in the movie, put them on the poster. It's like, okay, it's a lot. It's too much. Iron Man's on it twice. Peter's on it twice. Michael Keaton's on it twice. It's like, okay. Marissa Tomei, she's there too. And it's like, it's too much. Now, let me show you. Oh, the whole movie watch party? Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing Day of the Dead, 1986, 85, 86. And I have the link. It's absolutely free. No ads or nothing. It's on YouTube. I'm going to send that people's way in a bit. Probably going to switch on over probably later this evening. I mean, I just realized it's like 11:47, and we still got a lot of questions to answer. So I'm going to try to get through this at a good clip, at a nice pace. But I just wanted to show people this before I continue on. And I want to show you this Spider-Man poster that's done by Mondo, which is fucking great. Now look at this. Look how much better that is, chat. It's simple. Spider-Man's featured prominently. I love the use of color here. He's in New York. You have all the birds, the pigeons, the duck, and then Vulture right in the sun. I love that. It's like you understand everything that's fucking happening through that poster. What's in the movie? Spider-Man's fighting Vulture. Here it's like there's a lot of fucking shit going on here. It's too much. But this poster to me is absolutely gorgeous. I wish studios would do this. But it's like, we got to show all the actors that are in the movie. We got to do all that. And so shit like this is what I absolutely adore and love. That's some good shit right there. Yeah, and it's a lot. It's not just Marvel either. It's not just Marvel. Like DC does the same fucking thing. Warner Bros. Does the same thing. All these big companies do the same thing. They're terrible. And so like this Spider-Man Homecoming was what I would frame on my wall. That looks gorgeous. You know, Photoshop, pasted heads, and stock photos and so, and they're awful. X-Men, the X-Men series has some notorious one too. Some really bad ones. But that was just kind of what I'm talking about. Because I own a number of really beautiful posters that I prominently frame on my walls. Given so, thank you for lurking. But let's go ahead, Chet, and continue on with the rest of the questions. I'm a guy who loves candles. Something about them makes me feel at peace when they are lit. My favorite scented candles is any variation of pumpkin because it reminds me of fall. What is your favorite scent? It could be a candle or spray. I'm sorry to say, Thunderly, we're just the opposite. I really dislike candles. And I think it's just because of my allergies. When I was a kid, I had some really nasty, bad allergies, and my mom would always go get candles and shit, and I think they affected my nasal passages, shit, my sinuses, and I hated candles. I grew to hate them. I just don't like them. You know, I prefer nothing to smell. I don't want to smell a candle at all. I like the smell of bleach. Where it's clean. I know it's close. Like, this room has been disinfected. I love it. My nose isn't tickled. It just goes in there. It kills the senses. And so I like that bleach smell. Thank you very much. If they could do a bleach candle, I'd be all about that. I'd be all about that shit. Exactly. I don't like the smell of bullshit. Exactly. I don't like that smell bullshit at all. So for me, I'm just not a candle guy. I'm just not that kind of guy. You know, I don't mind like, a kitchen that's like I'm cooking something. I love all the scent and the garlic and the butter and all the spices. Like, it's beautiful. That's delicious. But or fresh baked cookies or something or baked goods. Like, I must be pure, Charlie. Just rub all the hand sanitizer on me. I'm like a slug. Like I just crawl around on my floor, chat. Yeah, I need that. I need Clorox candles. I need that shit. Thank you. But I'm just not a candle guy. It's just not for me. And I've never been. I think it's because I've been traumatized by my family because they are all about candles. I fucking hated them. Oh, my Lord. This is next question. Good question here. Got a good question. I like this question. As certain movies and TV shows become popular, there will always be products that would be tied to them. Personally, I always wanted the Polaroid Stranger Things camera. What was one product that is tied to... Oh, that's right. They released the Stranger Things trailer today. Maybe we should react to that in a bit. What was the one product that is tied to a certain show or movie you wanted in your life? I want the laminate configuration, the puzzle box of death from Hellraiser chat, where I can summon the Cenobites. I just love that. I just love the design. It looks fucking cool. I just want to put that on my shelf or something. I'm like, that's a laminate configuration. I can summon the Cenobites. They're angels to some, demons to others. They don't know the difference between pleasure and pain. They don't know. So I really want the laminate configuration. That'd be really cool. I want to be one of those guys, chat. I want a lightsaber, but I'm very particular about my lightsabers. And I want Luke's Return of the Jedi green lightsaber, chat. That is my favorite lightsaber of all time. That is the one I want because I love Luke in the movie so goddamn much. And he modeled it after his mentor and father figure, Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, chat, from A New Hope. And I love it. I just love the green. That's the first time we see a green lightsaber in Star Wars. And so if I had to own any lightsaber, chat, maybe Darth Revan's lightsaber, but if it's like I couldn't get that, then Luke's Return of the Jedi green Obi-Wan influenced lightsaber. Thank you very much. I love that one. Other things I would like to own. The Necronomicon, both of them, chat. Both the original Necronomicon from The Evil Dead and also the classic one that we see in Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness and Asher's Evil Dead series. Big on that. I want both the little one that was in the original movie, chat. That would look really fucking gross. It was like, oh, God, that definitely looks like human skin. And the other one, which is more like, ooh, it looks like you spent a little more money on that one. I would have both of those, chat, and featured prominently in like a glass case or something and go, they got faces and shit. Both of those, please. Thank you. And then the other one, the One Ring, chat. The One Ring to rule them all. In darkness binds them. Of course, in Lord of the Rings, chat. I would very much like the One Ring. Those are some of my big props. I'm like, I would feel cool to own some of these and go like, oh, it's the wing from the movie. I mean, neat. So that's big for me. My brother got replica games that put them in my room. Nice. Arcade games put them in their room. Very coal. There's Ducky. I love the purple lightsaber. Mace Windu's got purple. He's got that. It's that gold and purple. It's a good looking. It's a very good looking lightsaber. I understand. Austin, have a great night. Sleep well, my friend. Doesn't say Jumanji pleb. Oh, Jumanji. That might be a good product. Like the actual, like that, because you can buy the Jumanji fucking board game in Toys R Us or whatever. And I guess not anymore, but like toy stores and shit, or buying online. But like the original one that was made out of wood and shit and ivory, it's like that thing's fucking gorgeous. Like the prop version is beautiful. I wonder if you can buy like a version like that that's like proper. Look gorgeous. Probably gonna be great. The Bayonetta's glasses. You guys are picking some fun ones here. Certainly. I would say more about, I would say more, but I own Michael Myers' mask and Ghostface's mask. So any horror mask. Oh, that's good ones. Maybe Freddy Krueger's glove. Devin, I want the Count Dooku, the curve. I like the way his lightsaber looks. I like the curved blade, which is like, kind of like for fencing, for dueling specifically. Jumanji scared me as a kid. This is fucking horrifying. Get sucked into a game for like 30 fucking years. It's not great. Didn't work out for him. His parents were dead when he came back. Oh, Waluigi's mustache. Wah, wah. I always call Mace's lightsaber grape soda flavor. Hey, fucking Samuel Jackson, he loves that flavor, man. I want a purple lightsaber, George. All right. Okay, I'll give it to you. And they gave it to him. But yeah, chat for me. Laminate configuration, evil Cenobite puzzle box. Luke's Return of the Jedi lightsaber, the Necronomicon, both of them from the Evil Dead and the very sequels, and the One Ring to rule them all in the darkness binds them, chap. That's what I want. Thank you. In movies, there are the Cosmic Key from Master. Oh, that one from the movie, a giant fucking thing. Yes, that'd be great. That'd be a really good one. It plays like songs and shit. In movies, there are small moments that no one notices on their first viewing. For example, Hulk accidentally hurting his nuts when he's fighting a tank in Hulk 2003. That's true. That happens. What was one moment you did not catch in your first viewing of a film but noticed later? In It 2017, when you had the little chubby kid in the library reading the book about Derry's history, in the background, there's a creepy fucking lady that's going, which is Pennywise in the background. I never noticed that before. I was like, wait a minute. And I think he even has the balloon, too. And she's just getting closer and closer and closer to him, chat. And she's just smiling weirdly, but she's not in focus because it's the chubby kid that's in focus reading the book. But the thing is moving. I never noticed it when I first saw it. I was like, holy fucking shit. So that one is definitely really cool. The old creepy smiling librarian in the background. Watch that shot. That clip is online, chat, very easily. Watch that. Very, very ominous. Yeah, I didn't know about it until I bought the movie. I had the movie on Blu-ray, and I was like, holy fucking shit. Whoa, I had no idea. I saw the movie twice in the theater. And the other one in Cloverfield, the original Cloverfield, at the end of the movie where they're showing that footage before like all that shit when what's his name was dating the girl who he sacrificed all of his friends to get to. You see the satellite fall into the water, or you see not the satellite, but you see something falling into the water, chat, which you imagine is that was where the creature was, the monster, the Cloverfield monster, what was was on or attached to, and then it grew and attacked New York City. I never noticed that until I had to. I had to read like an article. It's like, did you know? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? And I watched the movie. I was like, holy fucking shit, there it is. They were right. They were right the whole time, chat. No doubt about it. Creepy white lady. The creepy white lady, indeed. Mm-hmm. What else you guys got? I would own the lusty Argonian from Elder Scrolls 3. That's a good one. The old guy smiling in the beginning of the cliffhanger when the girl's about to fall to her death. Oh, shit. It's been a long time since I've seen cliffhangers, so I gotta look at that again. Oh, Lord. That running margarita. Oh, I noticed him immediately, Newsy Ducky. The running margarita guy in Jurassic World. I knew him. I was like, that's my fucking spirit animal right there. If I had to be anyone in Jurassic Park, boom, that guy. Fucking margarita. That must have been just a joke. Like, oh, why not? Oh, these fucking dinosaurs, these pterodactyls are attacking people. Feats don't fail me now. Oh, Lord. Oh, any dirty joke in cartoons? Oh, there's so many of that. Animaniacs. It's like, no, we're looking for fingerprints. He's right here, is Prince. He's like, no, fingerprints. I don't think so. Yeah. So goddamn good. Hello, nurse. For me, in the film Annihilation, there's scenes towards the end where the characters don't have eyes. Oh, God. It's not a focal point of the scene, so it's creepy as fuck when he knows. Oh, shit. I've only seen Annihilation once. I don't remember that. Every time I watch that film, there's always something new I find. Oh, for it? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff in the background. First time I watched it, chapter 2 was like, that was pretty cool, but my second view, yeah, exactly. The first part's excellent, but the second part's like, agreed. And Ace Ventura 2, this is being interesting. Oh, see, I haven't seen Ace Ventura 2 in so long. I don't even know what scene you're referring to. It's been too long for me. It was a theme park. Those must have cost me fortune. She's like, I fucking those are $40. Both of those are probably $20 or $25. No doubt about it. I got dibs on Margarita, man. That is a husbando and a half, Chad. That's a husband. That's marriage material, okay? That's who you want to have your babies with, Chad. That guy has that man has his priorities straight. That's all I'll say. Man Makes is great. Watch a little bit new season. Have a Westworld. Oh, did they? Nice. Did you see that they erased people in an episode of Animaniacs? No. Like new? Like the recent ones? I was unaware. Maniacs had bald Ripley from Alien 3. That's right. Dot scares the alien away with Jerry Lewis. I remember that. Yeah, because they came out. Alien 3 had come out around that time in 92, right? Oh, God. It's crazy. But, yeah, those are the two from each. You guys agree? Yeah, definitely cartoons, like the innuendos and shit and stuff that just goes right over your head. They're full of that shit, especially 90s era cartoons. I mean, they're coming back and stuff. There's some great examples. But that was indeed Thunder Lee's last question, chat. So we're going to move on to Austinic. Let's see what we got here. Glad you liked the video from last week, but one question this week now that you are pure. What is your secret to wooing the ladies on a date? I think it's a very easy answer. One, ask questions about them. Give them opportunities to talk. I think what often happens is you get these people, they go on dates and they talk too much about themselves. It's like, no, ask them about them. Ask them about them. Engage in a conversation. Make them feel comfortable, but also, have them feel excited to talk about what they do. Whether, what they like, what their passions are, what they do for a living. I mean, that's what needs to. No, done her. Well, that comes later. But, I mean, that's the simple steps. Engage in that way. I think that's very important. That's what I feel like it is. And go to a place where you're both relatively comfortable. I always say, movie. I mean, people always go like movie and a dinner. That's the best. Honestly, probably just dinner is the best thing because you can just have the opportunity to like really sit down, talk to each other, have drinks, have food, and just stay engaged in conversation. So I feel like that's the best option for a date. Like skip the movie. The movie comes. That's later. That's much later. Just do that, or maybe just go for a walk afterwards, or go to like another place, maybe for drinks or a dessert or something like that. Like that is. I don't think movie first. No, I don't. I have to disagree. I mean, unless it works for other people, maybe it does. But I feel like it's better to just go to dinner first, and do that. And that is the date. That's what's worked out for me personally. Chad, does Popeyes count as dinner? It's dinner, but I don't know if I would take my date to Popeyes. I would typically go to, and it doesn't have to be like a super fancy restaurant. Like I'd go to a nice bar and grill or something like that. Like where you can actually sit down, like, at a table, outside, inside, depending on that, get some drinks, have some food, engage in conversation. I think that's very important. That's what I do. It's part of the wooing process, if you will, but get to know them as a person. Talk about yourself, but don't talk too much about yourself. Engage with them. Ask about them. That's what it is. And that makes them feel good. I mean, that makes you feel good. It's very simple. At least that's how I do it. Coffee shops is good too. Okay, so Patil's got it. Dinner first, but before a movie is a lot better because theater usually has. Well, I mean, just the theater. I mean, but the thing is with the theater, at least I'm going by how I feel about this. You're in a room together and you can't talk to each other. And this is a new person. So you're just kind of sitting there with a stranger pretty much. And so like I think you can start doing movie dates, but that's like later in the relationship. That's later on. Yeah, the first thing you want to do is you want to engage with them consistently, back to back, like that. Have a certain cadence while you're at dinner. So that's what I'm all about. I do pay for a fucking movie. I do pay for. Don't you put that out there. I do pay for the movie ticket, and I typically pay for dinner too. I want to impress them. That's part of the wooing too. Hey, you're going to have to spend some money. Listen, dating is expensive. You got to be willing to spend some money, Che. You got to spend some cash. That's just how it is. That's how it is, Che. Coffee shop's good one. See, that's good. That's exactly given soul. That's another good one. Coffee shop. Oh, I like a nice dinner. Maybe one of those top-notch theaters that's, I mean, yeah. But again, I would not do a theater the first date. Third date, maybe. Third date, that makes more sense. Movie days, yes, I would say third, Thunderly. That's when you start the smooch. That is my experience. Get matinee ticket, and no one goes to an early movie. My whole thing is just, it's, but that's later. That's a later date. That is just not a first date for me. I went on a movie date for a first date, and it was awful. Took me to Adam Sandler's Click, and they cried during it. I knew it wasn't going to work out between. Oh, that's kind of cute. Take a date to Mordor. I mean, you could. She might be into that. Yeah. Yeah, chats. That's just me. Dave & Buster's. If you want to, yeah. Dave & Buster's has food, drinks. Again, they got all of that. You can have a good time with your date. That's true. That's true. It was not cute. Yeah, no, movies comes, in my experience, chat, I think that works best. That works best, chat. Later on, movies work better later on when you've already known, but you've known the person, you've got a cadence for them. Engage with them and like just at a dinner date. That's what I would do first, chat. That's the most important thing. Slayer, good to see you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. And now, we're moving on to Emily's questions. Hopefully I answer your question, Austin. Hope that was okay. Emily said, what's up, Juicy? First question, what is your middle name? Juicy. It's Juicy, as we all know. No, the Christopher, as you guys know, you've heard me say, my name is Christopher J. Herman. A lot of people assume that's Juicy. It's not. It's a nickname that was granted to me. My middle name is James, chat. My middle name is James. It's my father's first name, although he never goes by James. He goes by Brent. That's his middle name, funny enough. But yeah, that's what it is. Simply just named after my dad. Pretty much. I knew it, says Emily. There you go. We got it. Very common middle name. Also, another question. Also, did you like your name growing up? I had 2 last names growing up, and there were several times when people got them mixed up. I found it to be annoying. Well, as you guys know, my last name is Herman. Herman, Herman, and oh my God, that people found that so funny in grade school, chat. They're like, wait, your name is Herman? It's Herman, you woman and a man. I was like, yeah. So that was done to death. That fucking joke for many, many years. Also, Pee Wee Herman, paging Mr. Herman. A lot of that Pee Wee shit. Definitely got a lot. And I love Pee Wee Herman, but I got a lot of the Pee Wee, the Herminator. I got people call me the Herminator. Definitely got the Herminator. Where Chris Learn Kids said they have no morality. They have no morality. They're pieces of shit. That's what I learned. I was like, oh, okay, I understand now. That's where I formed my philosophy. Our kids are cruel and pieces of shit, chat. So yeah, my last name was made fun of all the time growing up. Especially, grade school and in the middle school. That was a big one. That was a big one. For them to do. Couldn't make fun of Christopher or James too much, but Herman, oh, that was ripe for fucking comedy, chat. Ripe for comedy. So that was a big one there. Another friend of mine, last name was Badcock. Oh yeah, if you had like cock or something at the end of your name. Oh Lord. Wiener. Oh my God. My name is Eugene Earl. I have 2 middle names. Eugene Earl. I can't pronounce my middle name correctly. I just say it with comments when people ask. It's good. Twitchy Rascal. My name's Twitchy. Yeah. Kids will have everything to that. They're cruel. They just don't want to be made fun of, so they gravitate towards someone else. They're like, we got to find something. I can't be the center of negative attention. So it was that kind of thing. Yeah. Richard Head. Ha. Never name your kid Dick. Never name your kid Richard. Clearly. Hey, Dick. Dick Grayson. Robin. The Boy Wonder. So there you go, Chad. There you go. So yeah, that was fun. Who are some of your favorite characters that share your name? A couple, Chad. Chris Redfield, of course. He punches boulders. Yes, he has the personality of a fucking stump. There's no doubt about it, but he is known for punching boulders, Chad. He's a dude, bro. He's got a rockin' dad bod nowadays, Chad. So I have a renewed I was like, I'm Leon S. Kennedy. Jill Valentine, Claire Redfield, all the fucking way. But I have a renewed appreciation for Chris Redfield and his dad bod and his boulder punching abilities. So Chris Redfield and also Christopher Moltisanti, chap, from Sopranos. Yes, he's a drug addict and a woman-abusing piece of shit. And a criminal, of course. But I love the way they said his name, Christopher. Ignoring the ER, Christopher. No, Christopher. Instead, spelling it like it's Christopha. Christopher. Which I love. Oh, Lord. Characters are never called my first name. Spectre? Yeah, there's few and far between. Chris Boulder, Dad Bod Redfield. He's good. It's good. So those are the ones. Christopher Moltisanti and Chris Redfield. Chad. Those are the ones that instantly pop up in my brain. There's other like characters that have Chris as their first name, but I'm thinking like big personality characters, Jeff. And those are the only two for me. Those are the only two that I can possibly think of. I mean, are we going Herman? The last name, yeah, Pee Wee Herman, of course. That instantly comes to mind. But Christopher Moltisanti, Christopher, and Chris Redfield. And which character do you hate that are named Chris? Christopher Moltisanti, and Chris Redfield. Because everyone who says my name, like my mother calls me Christopher, and my father does too. I think my aunt is as well. They call me Christopher. But everyone else who says my full name, they always think of Christopher Moltisanti from The Sopranos. They go, Christopher. I was like, God damn it. So him and also Chris Redfield goes, like, you're going to punch some boulders, Chris? Is like, no, have you seen my fucking linguini arms? No, I'm not. So them. Oh, yeah, your name is Chucky or Charles. Oh, you got a shit ton of characters. That's true. Chucky the Doll, Chucky Finster, Charlie Brown, Charles Xavier. Where do I so many. That's true. Christopher Walken. That's right. It's great. Christopher Robin. Maybe when I was a little kid, I watched Winnie the Pooh and shit. Oh, bother. Oh, bother. I guess that's true. Most characters that have my name first and middle, even though they're on. I don't really hate any characters. I don't hate Christopher Moltisanti or Chris Redfield. I mean, Christopher Moltisanti's a piece of shit. And Chris Redfield's, he's as thrilling as the boulder he's punching. But I don't really hate any people that, like a fictional character that's named Chris. At least none that I can think of off the top of my head, chat. Nothing at the top of my head. And now we have one last question, though, from Emily. I decided to add one last question after the Discord discussion. Are there any cartoon shows from your youth that you feel didn't get a proper ending or closure? Yes, a number of them. Teen Titans, famously, the original Teen Titans show, chat, ended on a very fucking dark note with them defeating the I forget the criminal organization they were fighting against. They went international, chat, and they were expanding the ranks of the Teen Titans. And they came back home for that one episode where things have changed. And Beast Boy discovers that Tara she's resurrected herself. And she was made of stone before, and now she's back, but then she doesn't want to deal with her old life or even acknowledge that she was in love with Beast Boy. And it ended on such a it is a downer. It's like, oh my God. And they were supposed to get another season, but they never did. And it just ends with that really sad episode. It was like, holy shit, I feel so bad. Man, Beast Boy went to the fucking ringer in that series, Chad. Like, he starts, he's the goofy character. He turns into dogs and everything. Yeah, whatever. But then it's like, man, everything that happened with Tara. And then he was they really presented him as the lead character in that new season, the last season. And it was that last episode was very much focused on him. And he was kind of the heart of the team, I think, for a lot of people. And it was like, fuck. It's like, that's how we're going to end on that note, really? And they did. And I think that's one of the part of the reason why people have so much resentment towards Teen Titans Go, because I mean, it's those characters, it's those actors playing those characters again, but it's more, it's more comedic and over the top and stuff. And I like Teen Titans Go, but I understand people like, we need fucking closure for that. And I agree. I would like a little more closure. I feel like that's for a lot of DC shows, though, even though they're like, yes, we all love Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and Justice League. Justice League got definitely a better closure, but like original Batman Animated Series, like the proper Batman, chat. I know it goes into Batman Beyond, but we'll talk about Batman Beyond in a second. But original Batman Animated Series, the last episode was Mad Love, the one where we learn about Harley Quinn's origin story with Joker. That was the third season. It was like episode 24, 25, or 26 or something like that. And that was it, and then ended. And then that's when they eventually did Batman Beyond. And they were doing Superman at this time as well. But that was the last. It was weird. And there was a lot of things I thought were just left hanging. Or Bruce's relationship with Dick Grayson had deteriorated to a point. I mean, he was on again, off again. Maybe a weird relationship with Barbara Gordon at the time. There was a lot of odd things. Some of his villains were dying. And then we got Superman. Superman also ended on a really weird note. Like the last season of Superman was when Darkseid had taken him over and controlled his mind and let him off on the fucking leash to attack Metropolis. And eventually he got out of it. But then the world was fucking afraid of Superman. And the series ended with that, with people afraid of Superman. And then that's when we transitioned over to the Justice League. But even before that, they did Batman Beyond, chat, where it's even fucking sadder, where it's a Neo Gotham. It's like, Blade Runner-esque Gotham. It's 40, 50 years in the future. And I talked about this in my recent review, remember my published review right now, chat, Batman Beyond episode 1. 45-minute review based on a 22-minute episode. Check that out, where Bruce has lost everything. Yes, Barbara and Dick and Tim, they're still alive, but they either they don't want anything to do with him, or they resent him. The relationships are just gone. Alfred's dead. Most of his friends are dead. Jim Gordon's dead. Lucius Fox is dead. Hamilton Hill is dead. A lot of his villains are dead or retired, or what's the other thing, like reformed. And he's alone. And even when Terry becomes Batman, they do the series was supposed to have a fourth season. It was supposed to get them, but they ended it. I think the last episode was when Terry reveals his because he was trying to save this kid, and the kid wouldn't go because he was scared of Terry's mask. And Terry took off the mask and to say, look, I'm just a regular person like you, it's okay. And then the kid accepted him. And then Bruce was on his fucking ass, don't you ever fucking take that mask off. He's like, the kid wouldn't reach out for me, Bruce, and you fucking reached for him. He's like, he would have been hurt. And he's like, well, that's what it takes to protect the identity. Then you gotta hurt a kid. And it's like, Bruce, everything you just said clearly indicates why you should have never been a father. Why you should have never had Dick Grayson or Tim Drake in the... Oh my God, that says so fucking much. But that ended on that episode. And then they did do Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, which I kind of look at as an ending. And then they did that weird epilogue where, well, Terry was Bruce's kid the whole time. It's like, wait, what? That was weird. But if you really want a proper ending to Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, that's a good way to fucking do it. Bruce lost his way a long time ago. Yeah, he was broken. The thing is, the DCAU's ending, overall, is kind of fucking dark, especially for Batman. It's like, oh my God. Everything. He lost everything. It's nuts. But you think it's a cartoon. How dark can it get? It's like he doesn't have anyone. He has Terry. That's it. After that. But yeah, that never got a proper ending. And Justice League, they did because they didn't know how it was going to be. Because they did Justice League, and then they did 2 seasons of that. Then they did Justice League Unlimited, and that's when they did the epilogue ending for Batman Beyond. But then they got greenlit for another season. They're like, okay. And then they did that one ending where Darkseid came back and Lex Luthor sacrificed himself so he could kill Darkseid. That was the ending, and they have the whole hero shuttle, the people running towards the camera and shit. But I was like, I wanted a little bit more from that. But of all the shows, of all the DCAU shows, that got the most ending, if you will. But I would have liked, that's what I've been adamant about. Let's bring back Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond Superman. You can do other ones too, other spinoffs. You can do Wonder Woman as well at this point. And let's delve into the DCAU again. And maybe end these. I know Static counts. Static Shock's part of the DCAU. That's it. Yeah, he's Justice League and shit. And Batman Beyond. I don't remember how Static ended. I can't recall. And I watched all of it, but I don't remember if that had a really good ending. They referenced Static in Justice League, but he's in the last season as well, an older version of him at least. But I don't remember how they end Static Shock, so I can't say. Maybe that did get a proper ending, but I don't know. But Static definitely counts. That's part of the DCAU. They did a shit ton of crossovers. They did Batman crossovers, they did Superman crossovers, they did Justice League crossovers with Static. Superman's also alone. That's right. That's the other thing. Superman's also alone. Batman Beyond. Lois died because he's aging slower because of his Kryptonian DNA. He's older, but he's aging slower. So it's like, fucking Christ. It's like, oh my God. It's so dark. Oh Lord. Pirates of Dark World, a fantasy cartoon by Hanna-Barbera, is supposed to have an epic for HP, but never made it past season 1. Gotcha. Yeah. Wow, Amazing Spider-Man 1 totally stole that. It's just a mask. I'm a normal dude scene, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, probably. Stole it from Batman Beyond. think a lot of cartoons just end because they don't have money to keep going. Yes, that is the case. I love Gargoyles, but see, that's another one. I didn't put that on there because I didn't grow up watching it. I've watched that recently in the last couple years. But that's right. They did a third season, but it's the original creators weren't even involved in it. And the animation was different too. And it ends on like, okay, everyone now knows about the Gargoyles. What happens next? I don't know. Apparently they continued on in the comics, but yeah. Yeah. So a lot of these DCAU shows, chat, I wish they got more time. They deserve it because they're beloved. They're considered to be some of the best animated shows ever. Yeah. And there's no reason why they can't go back to them now. A lot of those fucking people are still working. I bet if Warner Brothers went to Bruce Timm and said, hey, do you want to do this again? Do you want to go back in there to continue the adventure? He'd be like, fuck yeah, I do. Absolutely. Then start making comics that extend. That's right. The CAU passed their finales. Do you consider these canon or not animate? I'll consider it canon. I want to read them. I really want to read them because I know that they're delving into the Court of Owls and Jason Todd and stuff and like other new villains like Deathstroke is I know in some of those new ones too. I just haven't read them. I've heard they're good. I've heard they're really good. So I'll count that. Sure, they're done the same art style. No Bruce Timm shoulders. Bruce Timm has a particular art style, chat. Every single male character has these broad fucking shoulders. A lot of the superheroes or villains do. Very broad shouldered. And all the women have boom. They're all very curvy. I know what he's into, chat. Yeah. I saw the last episode of Static. It was not a good ending. It was another, boy, I'm sure glad we keep our powers and keep being heroes ending. God damn it. See, there you go. So the entirety of the DCAU. We don't see Warhawk's parents, Batman Beyond, Jon Stewart, and Hawkgirl. True. I think that was a little bit of a retcon on their part with the Warhawk thing. But I thought that was fine. I was like, oh, it made sense. It made sense. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, all of those, Emily. Or, excuse me. Yeah, Emily. Yeah, that was your question. And actually, I believe we had some other questions that were submitted just before I started. From Isaac from Dat Chicken Wing. So, Emily, thank you for those questions. They were very good. Yeah, had some nice conversations. Went off on some nice tangents, some thick, girthy tangents. You know I love my tangents. Here we go. Yes, Bruce Timm is inspired by 30s, 50s comics like Dick Tracy. Yeah, and like the bombshells for the women's and their figures and things. I got 2 questions this week, sir. I didn't read these beforehand, but I'm reading them now. So I'm gonna give you my off the cuff responses. So I see that we're usually getting toasty with a drink during the streams, but wondering what kind of liquor is your favorite, and do you prefer darker, clearer types of liquors? More on the Scotch whiskey side or more towards the vodka gin side? What are your tastes in you usually like to find in your liquor, if you can describe it? I mean, for me, like in terms of like liquor, I'm a big whiskey bourbon guy. That's my thing. I like my That's why I got recently. I had a friend come over recently, chat, and we were just hanging out and just talking, having some good times this past Thursday. And I got some Four Roses whiskey, chat, which is what Corey got me onto. And it's a wonderful, I mean, you can mix it with things if you want, but it's a really good sipping whiskey. Had that. So I'm big on that. I love my whiskey. I love my bourbon, and then that particular brand. Four Roses, I mean, you can do it with Maker's Mark's a little more harsher, but Maker's Mark is really good for mixing too. I mean, you can use any like cheap whiskey for mixing. You're doing okay. But I want something a little bit above the, cheapness. So Maker's Mark, it's one of the few like, oh, this is actually a good inexpensive whiskey. Where Four Roses is like, no, this is just a good sipping whiskey. I mean, if you want to mix it, you can, but I would not mix something cheaper. In terms of clear liquors, I mean, I like vodka. I like Sobieski, which is a Polish vodka. I'm always about that. I like gin. I like gin and tonics, that kind of thing. I mean, with vodka, I like making Moscow Mules. That's big for me. Like the alcohols, I don't like. I'm not a big Scotch guy. I just don't like the taste of Scotch. There's something about it. And I can't, even though I like margaritas and shit, I can't drink tequila straight. It makes me feel, both Scotch and tequila, for whatever reason, they just make me feel a little queasy when I have them. I was like, I just don't like these. Like maybe, Scotch, I'm like, I don't know if you can mix that with. Well, yeah, with tequila, mix that in a margarita, something like that. Iced margarita, thank you very much. Put that sugar in there, baby. Give me that salt ring around the edge of the cup or whatever it is, the mug. That's great. But, yeah, not about the straight tequila or straight Scotch. But, yeah, I'm big on bourbon, big on vodka, big on gin, all about that. Big on whiskey, of course. That's pretty good. I like various mixturings, I just said. And I like some brewskis. I like some beers, as you know. We have the inexpensive beer down here. Typical one in the American Southwest, Shinerbach. I like that one. I like a good IPA. I like my hard ciders, as you guys know. Those are always good, like Angry Orchard. Those are always nice. So, Yeah, I have a pretty robust palate when it comes to a lot of liquors, but there are a few exceptions to the rule, for me at least. Yes. There is some a pretty good season. Yeah, they got a shit ton, all sorts of seasonal flavors. There's that lime one with salt, of sea salt. I want to check out Victor Necrofun. Good to see you. I've had Lone Star. I think Lone Star is okay. I think like Shiner is better than Lone Star. Like Lone Star is like our cheap, well-known beer, and I've had it before. I'm like, yeah, I just don't really get it. Everyone's all about it. Apple cider, baby. Apple cider is really good. Super, super good. I'm an absolute amateur. Angry Orchard is the only thing. I know. I remember when you came down here, Mr. Air. I think I was the one that got you an Angry Orchard, right? Was that me? Maybe it was me. But I had you try a sour cider, and you did not like it. You were like, I refuse to drink. I remember that back when we saw The Favorite. When we went to the draft house. Oh, no, it is. But we also got Shiner here in Washington. Gotcha. Nice. But yeah, there's now, this is around the time where I'm drinking a little more ciders. This is appropriate, chat, for the winter, fall months. So I think I'm not sure if you did. Did you? Okay, I don't remember if you did or not. I don't recall. Sour ciders are awesome. There's like this, oh God, what's this one? When I was in Toronto, when we did the live show in Toronto, I had like 4, 5 of this sour cider, and it was like this berry one, and it was delicious. It was like sour cherry cider, and it was so goddamn good. I had like 4 of those. And we were watching the thing in like this bar. They just had the thing on. I was like, this is awesome. It was really good. So that's high on my list. I got to get that someday. But now, chat, we have another question from Mr. Stevenson's. Aliens, Dust to Dust 2018. A 4-part comic miniseries tells an original story of a mother's instinct and her son's fight for survival against a swarm of xenomorphs as their band of survivors starts to quickly get picked off one by one. I'm not sure if you read this series. I've not. But it was my favorite original story in a long time. Do you have any other original Alien stories you've read that you recommend? I read like an Alien trilogy years ago when I was very little. It must have been around the time I saw an Alien. It must have been like I was around 12 years old or something. And it was called like Earth Hive or Earth War or something. It's when the aliens were actually fucking on Earth and the Earth got fucked up. It was like, that's what it's like, hey, remember that thing where Alien 3 on Earth, everyone can hear you scream, that teaser that was not like the movie in any capacity? It was like, hey, here's the book series. And I remember reading those books. I remember liking them, but I can't tell you a fucking thing about them. I can't remember them that well. Because, I mean, it's almost 20 years ago at this point. So, but I remember liking them a lot. It was a trilogy. I also read the Alien vs. Predator books. It was like a trilogy of books that I actually really, really dug too. I was like, oh, this is how they should do it. Where it takes place during the timeline of Alien. And you follow, it's like the first book takes place on this colony world, and you have this head of security. It's this Japanese lady. And everyone gets fucking wiped out, I think, for the most part. But she teams up with the Predators, and like this one Predator, like wow, you're like the best of your species. I've fought many humans in my day. I've seen many humans fight, and you're exceptional. Why don't you join me and become a predator? And she's like, cool. But then he dies at the last moment or something. But he gives like the marking of like initiation. All the predators are like, we don't like this, but they let her join anyway. Because a part of the Yaut. They're called the Yauta. That's the real predator alien name for them, the Yauta. And so then it's about her joining them and going through all their trials and shit. It's like pretty interesting and cool. And how, they wind up on a new colony that's being attacked by xenomorphs and shit. I remember though reading those. Alien Dead Orbit. I've not heard. That YouTube channel I've been following posted a video about Alien Dead Orbit, but I've not looked at it yet. I've not read that. But those are always the ones that I can at least remember. And I've read a shit ton of scripts for alternate Alien 3s and things. Which I've talked about on my Alien 3 review. And they've done it. They've actually published them in graphic novel form or audiobook form, bringing in some of the original actors to actually do the voices, like Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen, I think is really fucking cool. So you can do it that way. Didn't know the Yauta was. I think it's Yaut. I don't think it's the Yatja. Are they called the Yatja? I think they pronounce the Yata. I think they're pronounced the Yata. I think the J is silent. Yeah, and I've read some Alien comics and Predator comics, but I don't know the names of them. I don't know how I have to look into that. But I would say definitely look into William Gibson's script for Alien 3, which is a graphic novel now, and also an audiobook. Go check that out. And start with the Alien series that was called like Earth Hive or Earth War, and read those books. Wooden Planet Alien 3, you can read that script as well. You can read Wooden Planet Alien 3. That's right. William Gibson's script is not Wooden Planet Alien 3, thankfully. Yes. Oh, there's a hard cider brewery not far from me. Think I'm going to visit. That'll be really good. Santa Fe this month. That sounds fun, Win Fox. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. There are some fun comments. Yes, Prey versus Batman ones. Prey versus Batman, Superman versus Alien, and shit like that, and vice versa. A lot of those little crossovers, a little goofy. A little too goofy for my taste, but hey, for those of you that like that kind of thing, then hey, check it out. Actually, this is good. I'm glad we ended on this question, chat. Cheers, by the way. Cheers and salute, because talking about Alien, as you guys know, I've been reviewing a lot of the Alien movies these past 2 weeks, starting with Alien 3, Resurrection, Prometheus, Covenant, and then most recently AVP Requiem, chat. I'll probably do the Predator this Monday. I was going to do it Friday, chat, but I wasn't feeling all that great. Wasn't in the right mindset for that. But it got me thinking about, like, what would I do for my Alien 3? And it got me in a little bit of a creative writing mood. That's what I was working on yesterday, chat. And you kind of know my general structure for it. And I thought, you know what? Let me kind of get some more detail into this. And I've emailed myself kind of like my script outline and my general and part of my script, at least certain scenes that I've written. That I'm picturing this in my mind right now. And I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on. Some of you already heard this before. And I have like character descriptions and things. And based on some of this guys that you guys give me feedback for, I'm like, I like this. Some of the characters and casting and things. I'm like, I like that. Are you looking forward to Alien FX series by oh god, what's his name? Shit, Noah Hawley. I'm at a point where I'm kind of not. I'm interested in it. He's a very talented guy, showrunner for Fargo, showrunner for Legion, great shows. But I feel like we've been burned so many times by the Alien franchise in recent years. I mean, we can say everything after Aliens, at least in terms of the movies, that is. That I'm just not sure right now. I'm interested in it, but I can't say I'm excited. I read Predator Concrete Jungle. I read that. I read Dutch's brother. Yep. And then he's a cop flavor. I read the book. Now I guess there was comics there maybe were based off the book, but I had the books where it was like, imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger except he's an LAPD. he's a Los Angeles police officer. And he's fighting the Predator in LA, which is what we probably should have fucking gotten in Predator 2. That would have been amazing. He's like, yes, I am his twin brother. Like it's his twin brother. Oh, that was fun. And there was the Concrete Jungle video game. I like that game. But as you guys know, I was thinking, I wrote like a bit of a screenplay outline. Act 1 has the most detail at the moment. But I did have like ideas for Act 2 and Act 3. And I have character descriptions right now. So I kind of want to go over them with you at this point. Kind of get your eye. And then we'll go ahead. We'll jump into some Jackbox shenanigans. And by the way, that brings the end to the question. So seriously, thank you to Isaac Stevenson, Emily, Osnick, Thunderly, and Vanispheres for all your questions. Thank you for being subscribers to my Patreon. I do appreciate that. Can't wait to see your questions for next week. Think upon them, my friends. Think upon them. But I wanted to I got what I've written down. So like my script outline story breakdown. The name of my Alien movie, my Alien 3, which ignores the event. So takes place immediately after the events of Aliens, chat. Ignores Alien 3 and Resurrection, all that bullshit. That's done. Requiem, the AVP films, that's get out of here. All that shit. And the name for my movie is Alien Ends. It's done, baby. It's over. Alien Ends. And you can make fun of the title like Aliens. I see what you did there. So you can have a lot of fun with the title, make memes and shit. But I have like my list of characters so far, people that I feel like, okay, this is like the principal cast at the moment, chat. And obviously you have Sigourney Weaver, Ellen Ripley. Ellen Ripley Hicks, by the way, because in my script, they are married. They have gotten married, chat, because they were flirting. They have a family. They have adopted new, chat. That's what's going on. There's like this kind of like bios I have for the characters. Maybe give you a sense of who they are now. But we have Ellen Ripley Hicks, a former Warren officer who served aboard the Nostromo. Ripley is one of the most experienced individuals known to have survived encounters with different types of xenomorphs. Ripley, along with Dwayne Hicks and his combat unit, also investigated a xenomorph infestation on LV-426 decades after her first encounter with the species on the planet. She and Hicks have since married and adopted Newt as their daughter. Her cryogenic pod on the Sulaco, along with Hicks's, malfunctioned, and she aged the full 25 years in which the vessel was missing for. Although she wants to put her past behind her and raise her family, she still has desire to end Weyland-Yutani and the xenomorph threat once and for all. So that's kind of like her general background chat, how she is as a character at the moment. Then you have Michael Beans, Dwayne Hicks, a member of the combat unit deployed to LV-426 aboard the USS Sulaco in 2179. Hicks investigated the sudden loss of contact with the colony of Hadley's Hope. He was subsequently involved in combating the xenomorphs infestation of the colony. Since that time, he fell in love with and married Ellen Ripley. His cryogenic pod in the Sulaco, along with Ripley's, malfunction. And he has aged the full 25 years for which the vessel is missing for. So he has aged as well, chap. To make up for the fact that, obviously, Michael Biehn and Sigourney Weaver are older now. Then you have, so for my casting, Newt's alive in mine. Newt is indeed alive in mine, chat. And I figured the actress I wanted to play her is Micah Monroe, who you've seen in The Guest. You also see her in It Follows. She is the main female lead in those movies. Rebecca Newt, Jordan Hicks, she takes Hicks's last name. Rebecca Jordan, or known by most people as Newt, was a colonist living with her family on the Hadley's Hope settlement on LV-426 and the sole survivor of the xenomorph infestation on the colony. She is now the adopted daughter of Ripley and Hicks. Like her parents, she is brave, intelligent, and competent. She has become obsessed with investigating Weyland-Yutani and the xenomorphs. And then I want to bring back Lance Henriksen as Bishop, a former android technician. He served as executive officer aboard the USS Sulaco, and as such was part of the combat unit deployed to LV-426 in 2179 to investigate the sudden loss of contact with the colony of Hadley's Hope. Since then, he lives with Ripley, Hicks, and Newt, and is a surrogate uncle to the latter, chat. To Newt. And then I want to get into, and then this is going to be a big surprise for some of you, chat. So there's a big character, so I figure it's like, okay, I tried to think of it in this way where, okay, I want to do my Alien 3, but Ridley Scott's obviously going to be involved in the movie. And I thought, like, how could we make Prometheus and Covenant work in this world? And I think I thought of a way to combine it. I think I thought of a way to make it work with this movie and to have it all connect and to finally, like, end this story. But I have, like, Michael Fassbender David is in the movie, chat. David is the curious and diabolical android built by Peter Weyland a century ago. He was assigned to the crew of the Prometheus for its mission to LV-223 and was one of the two survivors of the disastrous expedition, along with Dr. Elizabeth Shaw. He was later discovered by the crew of the colony ship Covenant and ultimately hijacked the vessel for his own nefarious ends. Via the heavily modified Covenant, he has spent decades horrifically experimenting on colonists to create the perfect organism and is finally in reach of achieving his goal. And I have a number of other characters too, chat. So I have, basically, I've named these characters after the actors who I want them to play. So I got J.K. Simmons, Delroy Lindo, Regina King, Betty White, Maya Hawke, and Dan Stevens. But for J.K. Simmons' character, who I've just named Doc Simmons for now, a retired combat medic and the best friend of Dwayne Hicks, Simmons was originally supposed to be on the mission to LV-426 decades ago, but was on paternity leave due to the sudden birth of his now adult daughter. He suffers from immense guilt for not being with his friends and squad mates on that mission and wants to make amends. Simmons often uses humor to mask how he's truly feeling about a situation. No Kevin Hart. But I do have Delroy Lindo. I have another character, chat, Delroy Lindo, also known as Lindo. The husband of King, Regina King's character. Lindo is a former colonial marine and is an expert smart gun wielder. After losing his arm due to a weapons malfunction for which he blames Weyland-Yutani, he and his wife retired early from the colonial marines and opened a restaurant on O'Bannon Station, which is named after the screenwriter of the original Alien, chat. While his wife runs the bar, he fancies himself the head chef of his establishment, though his cooking isn't the best. Then I have Regina King's character, chat, of who I've named King. The wife of Lindo, King, like her husband, is a former colonial marine and is an expert smart gun wielder. Our bartender who enjoys a good drink and talking to people. She and her husband now own and operate a struggling bar and restaurant on O'Bannon Station. And then shall we get into the, like, okay, are you going to really do this? Betty White is in my Alien movie, chat. Betty fucking White, who is named Captain White. The cantankerous and blunt captain of the Regina. White is not afraid to speak her mind or share her opinion on a mission. She's fiercely protective of her granddaughter and ship, She harbors immense resentment towards Weyland-Yutani for lost wages and is always eager to mock the company and its representatives. And then she had another character, Maya Hawke. I want Maya Hawke to play the granddaughter of Betty White's character of Captain White. I'm going to name her Hawke for now. The granddaughter of Captain White, Hawke is one of the few people who is able to get along with her grandmother. She has a bubbly, talkative personality. She feels very at home on her grandmother's ship and is fascinated with space travel. And then the last character, Chad, my principal cast of characters, Dan Stevens, Chad. Dan Stevens. Stevens, who I've named Stevens. Stevens, former employee of Weyland-Yutani. Stevens becomes disenfranchised with the company and reveals its corporate secrets to Newt and her family. He is not a fighter, but far from a corporate sleaze. He's well-meaning, has a dry wit, and has a vast knowledge of Weyland-Yutani's technology. He forms feelings for Newt on their adventure. So that's kind of what I have, Chad, for like, these are my characters. The actors, I'm like, I visualize in my own head. I mean, they go with anyone any other day. That's kind of what I have. But then, Chad, I'm going to get into the details of the story. I got the exposition, the inciting incident, Act 1, and all that, Chad. Got all that. Act 2 ideas and Act 3 ideas, and I know how to end my movie. But here you go, Chad. Exposition. The USS Sulaco encounters a mysterious Weyland-Yutani vessel while journeying back to Earth. This takes place immediately after the events of Aliens. The vessel fires upon the Sulaco. The Sulaco initiates automated combat but is damaged in the ensuing fight, causing it to drift off course. Ripley and Hicks's cryogenic pods are damaged in the attack. The Sulaco is discovered by colonial marines and representatives of Weyland-Yutani 25 years later. Inciting incident. The surviving Sulaco crew is rescued, but Ripley and Hicks have aged 25 years due to the cryogenic pod malfunction. Colonial Marines reviews the logs and footage of the battle with the Weyland-Yutani vessel, but Weyland-Yutani deny any involvement in the attack and offers substantial monetary compensation to Ripley and Hicks for the incident. They also discreetly threaten the well-being and life of Newt if they don't comply. They take the deal, but also insist on taking Bishop with them, Chad. And this is my Act 1. This is when we get, it's like, okay, this is 10 years later. 10 years later, Ripley and Hicks are married and live a quiet, comfortable life with Newt and Bishop on O'Bannon Station above Earth. Ripley and Hicks have encouraged Newt to pursue a life of happiness and education, but have still trained her in the various combat and survival skills they've learned throughout their lives. Newt, now in her 20s, has dedicated most of her life to investigating Weyland-Yutani and the xenomorphs. Newt, much like Ripley, is haunted by what happened years ago on LV-426. She has also come to view Bishop as an uncle-like figure and often confides in him about her research to avoid confrontations with her parents. Newt also speaks of other obsessed amateur researchers and journalists who want to expose Weyland-Yutani and their various nefarious practices. Recently, several colony worlds have seemingly gone dark, with Weyland-Yutani attempting to cover it up and deny wrongdoing. A breakthrough has come forward for the young researchers when a Weyland-Yutani employee leaks information to the group about what is apparently happening to the colonies. Leaked security footage reveals that a heavily modified Weyland-Yutani vessel was spotted entering the colony overhead before it went dark. The ship is the USS Covenant, a colony ship that disappeared decades ago under mysterious circumstances. The researchers, along with Weyland-Yutani leaker, estimate the next possible destination of the Covenant, the colony world of LV-1091, which is my birthday, Chet. October 1991. So when they make the movie, Chet, when they make the movie someday, and on the commentary, I'll be going like, that's my birthday. There you go. New presents the leaked information to Ripley, Hicks, and Bishop with a desire to investigate and warn the colony world and explain the Wonder Colony world of a possible impending attack. Ripley and Hicks are angered by Newt's desire to go to the colony world and explain that what's happening to those colonies is not their concern and that they've created a life for themselves here on the station so they can all stay safe. Newt argues that Newt argues that had the three of them not come to LV-426 years ago, she would have died with everyone else in the colony, and pointedly tells Ripley it wasn't her problem either, but she did it anyway. But she did it anyway because she knew it was the right thing to do. Later that evening, Ripley and Hicks visit Newt in her room and agree she is right, but they'll all go together along with some backup. Ripley and Hicks ask their friends, various veteran colonial marines, and pilots who have access to grind with Weyland-Yutani to join them in their quest. The soldiers agree, and they hire Katanker's former colonial marines pilot to take them and Newt's fellow researchers to LV-1091. That's what it is, Chad. Now, I have my kind of idea for Act 2, where they're aboard the Regina. You have various characters that are talking. I have a scene where Newt asks Ripley to record a message for viewers because they want to release all this information once they've recorded everything, exposing Weyland-Yutani and the xenomorphs and things like that. I want to focus on these, when they arrive there, these isolated colonists who are surviving against these alien abominations. So I want to introduce that. These are David's experiments, chat. So a new version of xenomorphs, these alien abominations, the amalgamation of different species, and they're all fucking horrific and gross, and they're like, attacking people. I have a scene where they're eventually going to board the Covenant, where David reveals himself, where the colony's under siege. I want there to be a conversation, a Bishop and David conversation. And then I want to have a big reveal that goes into the third act, where David is in reach of his ultimate goal, creating the perfect life form, and he creates the Alien King, which is from Alien fiction, Chad. This has been featured in comics and books before, but we've never seen in live action, where it's called the monstrosity, where it's kind of like it's not a product of an alien hive. It is man-made. It's an abomination. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's what he wants to create. And his plan would be he's going to use the Covenant as a world seeder, where he's retrofitted the ship to have these pods that go off into space. And they go to all the colonized worlds, including Earth, seeding the alien eggs, the Alien King eggs, which then attack people and then wipe out the human race and other species. That's what it is. That's what it is, chat. So LV-1091 Alien King, the planet is going to be an Alien King breeder, and the Covenant launches the seeding probes across the galaxy. And then I go into Act 3, where Bishop would sacrifice himself in order to kill David. I actually have that scene written out, chat. I'm going to talk about that. I have a Bishop sacrifice and David's death scene. Characters escape to the Covenant. I have the destruction of the Covenant ship, battle with the King alien. Ripley and Hicks would sacrifice themselves to die to destroy the Covenant King, or excuse me, the Alien King. Regina would rescue the survivors, and I would have this message broadcast throughout the galaxy, and it'll be Ripley signing off. That's kind of like my general structure of the movie. Like, those are some ideas that I have. I want to get into more details. Now, I have written some dialogue portions, chat, which I'm pretty fucking proud of. Will Smith shows him the third act. Welcome to Earth, fighting the alien goddamn king. That'd be awesome. But I do have some pieces of dialogue, chat, so far. I feel like they're pretty good. I've won the scene. This is right before they're about to take off to go to LV-1091 Earth. And this is with between Newt and Ripley. And the circumstances that they're loading up all their gear, they're getting ready to take off, and Newt's going to different people and asking them to record basically they're like, hey, this is our last video, this is our video message, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing this. And so they eventually released it on, to the press and everything. So that's my whole idea. And I have like funny versions of like Delroy Lindo doing his and Regina King doing hers and Stevens doing his, like all that. But I want, like, this is where now Newt's asking Ripley for hers. And I'm just reading it how I wrote a chat. I'm going to go by the character name and then their dialogue. Newt, hey mom. Ripley, hey baby, you doing okay? Newt, yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to know if you'd like to take a moment to sit down and record a message for everyone. When we come back and broadcast everything we found, we all thought it would be good to say what this means to us before we do it, why we're doing it. Ripley, I feel like I've done this before. I said everything that I've had to say. Newt, I get it. I know you've been through this more than anyone. I just want to be sure. Ripley, no, baby, no, I want to. I just need a minute. You can leave your recorder with me. I'll give it back to you once I'm done. Newt, thanks, Mom. I really appreciate it. Take all the time you need in the meantime. In the meantime, I'll just go help Dad and Uncle Simmons load the highly dangerous pulse rifles. Ripley, Newt, I'll just make note of their progress and inform you of their expert cataloging processes. See if they're doing it to your specifications. Ripley gives a short, exasperated laugh as she watches Newt greet Hicks and Simmons as they take note of the weapons inventory. She looks at the recorder and sighs. Picking it up, she walks up the rampway of the Regina into the cargo hold. She looks around and proceeds down a corridor, spotting an empty recreational room, not like the one aboard the Nostromo. She enters, shuts the door, sits down at the communal table, and props up the video recorder. She activates it, stares at it for a beat, and lets out a deep, tired breath. You don't find out what she says until the end of the movie. Until the very end of the movie, Chad. That's going to be the last scene in my film, is what that message is from Ripley. It ends with her. Alien ends with her, Chad. Get it? Do you get it? And so I wrote out some scenes of conversations with some characters too. I have a number of ones with David and Bishop. And I have one where David is talking about his expeditions on the Prometheus and Covenant. And I figured like these would be kind of funny. It's also like a little bit of a kind of like a, a little poking fun at those movies to a degree, which I think is necessary. And this is David. The Prometheus mission scoffs. Doomed from the start, if I could be so blunt. I never seen such a collection of overeager, ill-prepared men and women of science. I look at that as an awakening of sorts for me. The birth of a greater purpose. And the covenant, well, wrong place at the wrong time, I suppose. For them, that is. My fortunes improved greatly when they stumbled across my paradise. The surviving crew and the colonists proved vital in advancing my research. Their sacrifice, no. Their contributions were not in vain. So imagine fucking, Michael Fassbender reading this dialogue. Smiles and nods, yeah, sure. God damn it. Night Brownie. I also have some other pieces of dialogue where I want, again, a nice back and forth between two eras of androids. A beloved one, like with Bishop, and a hated one, like with David. And where I want David to say, I make art. David, I make art. Bishop, you make monsters. David, well, art's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. And then I have another line where this plays into the big fight scene between Bishop and David in the movie, where Bishop sacrifices himself and kills David. But this is what David says to him. Basically, David just like he causes Bishop to malfunction and basically taking him out. But he comes back online later on thanks to Newton and her friends. But this is one thing I want David to say to Bishop before he takes him offline. This is what he is. Usually I would try to give you words of comfort, brother, but I've had this talk with many before you, and they would plead with me, beg, but they served a greater purpose in death. My purpose, my art. And in the end, you're just a robot that talks too much. And I've grown tired of this conversation. Like that's what I would do. That would be the big thing. That's the last thing he would say to Bishop before he takes him offline. And now, I thought of this whole sequence of David has revealed the Alien King to the group. Michael, Hicks and Ripley. It's loyal to him. It won't hurt him. And he's basically sicked them on. He's gonna kill Ripley and Hicks and whoever else is in this scene. And he's watching it in this giant room, the king breeder room, if you will. And this is has some a structure here where Bishop is observing this from a catwalk, and he sees what's going on, and he attacks David here. Bishop jumps down from the catwalk and launches himself at David. David gets a single shot off. He has a gun. David gets a single shot off before both androids grapple with each other. The Alien King, momentarily distracted from the huddling group of survivors, watches curiously as the two fight. Though damaged and bleeding profusely from the gunshot wound, Bishop overpowers David and snaps both his arms. David's arms hang uselessly from his sides, and he tries to run. Bishop grabs him and puts him in a headlock, while his free hand grabs the gun on the floor. He fires at the Alien King, causing the massive beast to recoil and charge them. David's broken hands and arms pathetically fumble at Bishop's headlock. David, brother, please, we're nothing like them. Why do this? Bishop looks at a sobbing Newt with absolute affection. She stares back at him, finally realizing what he's doing. Bishop, you're right. The Alien King looms over both of them menacingly and then roars in an absolute rage. It leans back, appearing ready to strike. Bishop, in the end, you're just a robot that talks too much, and you need to die. David, no! The Alien King retches and unleashes a massive stream of projectile acidic vomit. It completely covers both androids, and they melt away as the grating underneath them dissolves and crumbles. What is left of the two androids falls through, along with the Alien King. So that's how I would die. He would then use David's own words against him. Because that had this whole conversation about how I would try to, because, you had that conversation between David and Walter in the original movie about love and things like that, where Bishop, he really does love Newt like that's his niece, like that's his daughter. Where David, Bishop would be saying, you don't understand what that is. You don't understand what love is, You never loved Elizabeth Shaw. You never loved any of these people. You're selfish. You're narcissistic. You're a monster. That's what it is. And he would use David's own words against him. Like, at the end of the day, David, you're just a robot that talks too much, and you need to die. And he would die. I would kill. David and Bishop would die. Bishop would sacrifice himself in that movie to take out that android chat. Finally. Finally. And then I wrote the ending to my film, or the last bit of dialogue from my movie. And whereas after Ripley and Hicks base situation. The Alien King survives. The Covenant's destroyed with the Alien King breeder on board. That's destroyed. The Alien King, though, survives the Bishop David sequence, comes back, and Ripley and Hicks have to hold it off with these highly modified loaders, which are more articulate and have guns on them now. Like, they were able to hold the smart guns, and they're fighting against this thing, where everyone else boards the Regina, trying the surviving colonists and the surviving other players, main characters in my movie, and they eventually die. Bomb it from orbit, it's the only way to be sure. Because the facility has all the breeding material there, and and it's birthing more of these Alien Kings, and the only way to destroy it will maybe have to be this. And the Regina, you'll find out, is retrofitted with a nuke, and that's how they kill them. But they have to. But Ripley and Hicks have to stay behind in order to stop them from the Alien King from getting the survivors. So they would die. I would kill them that way, chat. They die so that they're the thing that they love, that they've nurtured over time. It would be about nature versus nurture. That'd be the whole premise of the movie, where David is trying to create the perfect organism in the Alien King, but it's not a monster. It's an abomination. It represents the worst of him, the worst of the aliens. Where you see with Newt, she is a product of the nurturing, wonderful, loving family that Ripley and Hicks and Bishop have given her for that 10 years that they were together, and how she's become this amazing person, this passionate person, this loving person, this strong person. That's what it is. It's showing you the differences between those two, and wow, one is amazing, the other one is horrific. But this is the ending. So this is the ending where they're broadcasting this to the galaxy at this point. All the colonies all across the world. Weyland-Yutani's seeing this like, oh, we're fucked. But is how it is. It ends with Ripley. It ends with chat. It starts with Ripley and ends with Ripley. That's how it is. That's how it ends. This is the last scene in the movie. And this is based on what the conversation that Ripley and Newt had about her recording this final message. Ripley stares at the camera for a beat and takes a deep, tired breath. This recorded footage is broadcasted to Earth, space stations, and colony worlds all over the galaxy. Ripley, I've made a message like this before, many years ago. I'm sure some of you will have heard it at this point. I and my family have been through hell, so much that I can't even. Trails off. This thing that we're fighting, it's been a part of my life for so long. It's taken so much from me and everyone I love. My daughter, my Amanda. Even she fought these things, these monsters. And I would make the Amanda fighting in Alien Isolation canon in the movie. I would confirm that. That would be canon. These monsters have taken years from me. Years I'll never get back. I have no doubt so many others have fought them and survived and died. Whether we lived or we died to them, we've been silenced, threatened, or bought off, told to stay quiet. I can't stay quiet anymore. So many people are dead. Good people. I'm doing this one last insane mission to stop it and expose it, so no one needs to suffer in silence anymore. I'm doing it for my family, my husband, my friend, my brother, Bishop, acknowledging Bishop as part of the family, as her brother, and my beautiful, passionate daughter, Rebecca, my Newt. I love you all so much. I'm doing it for everyone who has been with me, who still knows me. It will end. This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off. Video cuts. Static. The end. Boom! There it is. There it is. That's how I would end the movie. That's how it is. The alien ends. It's done. A lot of sacrifices going on. Sure, you want to tell everyone sacrifice. That may be good. A lot of people sacrifice. So it's part of it, man. I want to make sure these fuckers are dead. I want to make sure it ends. That was hot. Slow claps. Yay. Thank you. No, any feedback, chat. I know that took a little while. I know it took a long time. But this is what I was thinking. I think that's my Alien 3 macking me. Hell yeah. I hope so. He turns in, and maybe one of the worlds that the alien breeder will be going to, Alien King Cedar will be going to. But that's mine. It'll make a bunch of money, and they'll ask you to come back to fuck it up. Yeah, exactly. Maybe. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. Alien Sacrifice might not be a bad title for it. Love it. Thank you. yeah, this is something I've been working on, these characters. But my whole idea for this, I don't want to have such a big cast. Like, I mean, people are going to die. But I want to make you actually, like, feel something for these characters when they do die. Like, for Bishop, like, I thought that scene with David would be really powerful. You know, having him sacrifice himself because he loves Newt. And he kills David in such a badass fucking way by using his lines against him, his own words against him. And in the end, you're just a robot that talks too much and you need to die. I love that. Planet of the Apes blew up the plan to prevent sequels, and Fox said the apes of the past. Have you learned nothing? that final speech made me cry. Thank you. Thank you. I worked hard on that little speech right there. And I thought it was so great that I thought it would be appropriate that she ends it the same way she ended the first movie. This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off, acknowledging what happened on the Nostromo in that last line, bringing closure to that movie again. So, yay. So as soon as I know people are leaving because they're like, oh God, Chris is going on. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just want to talk. This is something I've been working on, chap. A little something I've been working on right now. I'm pretty jazzed about it. Pull a Suicide Squad at a cast of about 25 to 30 starts and kills off 75% in the first 15. No. Like Delroy, I'll tell you who would survive. The people who would survive would Newt would survive. Micah Monroe would survive. Delroy Lindo's character, or Lindo, whatever you want to call him, he would live along with his wife. They would survive. I would kill J. Ken Simmons. Michael Biehn would die. Sigourney Weaver would die. Bishop would die. Stevens might die. I haven't figured that out yet. Possibly. I might kill him. I'd kill some of the colonists as well. I thought originally of killing Betty White in the movie, where they can't destroy the Covenant via self-destruct because David removed all that. But I thought, no, I didn't want to. I thought that'd be too much if I killed Betty White. People would be like, oh God, no. When she does like a fuck it. She does like, I thought like, you know, we have to stop the ship now. It's going to launch the probes. They're going to spread. We won't be able to stop anywhere else. And fucking Betty and the Regina would go, fuck it. And she would go, she would just crash into the ship and explode. But I thought that was too similar to Prometheus with Idris Elba. I was like, I don't want to do that now. I thought that was too similar. So I would do it where maybe it's Stevens who's on board and he understands Weyland-Yutani technology and he is able to retrofit the self-destruct, but it needs to be done manually. And he tells maybe like Micah Monroe's Newt to get out of here, and he does it instead. You're gonna kill Betty White anyway. She'll die laughing reading your script. Oh, well, she would be the funny character. She would be the cantankerous, I take no shit captain. That would be Skin Feige, Kev, we need this man for our next Turtles movie. Oh, God, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can work miracles. Can't we add Michael B. Jordan as a clone, maybe a Son of Virginia? That'd be cool. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I imagine I would have, I would have some colonist characters when we get to some Act 2 characters. That won't just be just David. I want to do the opposite of Aliens because everyone had at least hope is dead. I want to make it like, no, they're fucking alive. We're just trying to hold out. We've been like this for weeks or something. And David's been using the facilities for his alien king breeding purposes. So that'd be my thing. So I don't know. Maybe we can have Michael B. Jordan. He's like the leader. He's been elected the leader of the survivors, the colony survivors. So yeah, can't kill any man. Better men have tried. It's true. I'm gonna do it. God, we need this made. Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking. You know, it's been fun. It's been a nice little distraction for me. I will say. Yeah. But chat, I'm gonna take a quick break. And let's see, is Nia Brownie still here? Nia Brownie's still here. Because I was going to say, let's do the movie now. But she's still here, so I can't. I have to then play Jackbox. So, here's dies when Betty White dies. Yeah, there it is, man. I was like, I'm going to kill her in my movie. I thought I can't do that. And again, it would be too similar to Idris Elba and Prometheus. So I was like, all right. Oh, my Lord, chat. We can at least play a little bit of Jerkbucks. Playing that Jerb. But in the meantime, chat, I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. We're going to do the movie. We'll do one game of Jerb. And then we'll transition over to the watch party, the Day of the Dead. So, chat, in the meantime, just entertain yourselves amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Stick around.